forgot to hit the go live button. I've been sitting here talking to you all for and trying to figure out why my thing isn't working. Misdemeanor is fired. Hey guys. Morning. Morning. Oh, Brian, good for you. You want to come up and talk about it? Let's say the good mornings. Let's say, let me see who's here. Remy, Charlie Girl, Nanya, Brian, Brian. Well, so I'm really excited. We got some new emojis. Cool. We got, let's see, we got a hamster, we got a ghost, we got a puppy dog, and we got cherries for popping cherries. I'm excited. Misdemeanor's fired, by the way. Here we go. Anybody wanting to, Brian, you want to come up and talk about your video? Yeah, so we got that. We got four, I guess when you get so many members, you get a certain amount of emojis. I'm still not sure how it works, but my awesome friend Eagle made 4 more emojis for me, and I hope Robbie comes in here because there's a little hamster in there. Sally Hamster. So anybody wanting to come up, since Misdemeanor is not awake, she must have stayed up late. I don't know. There's my Brian. Hey, Brian.
You awake yet? Are you awake?
I'm wide awake. I'm awake.
Still got
I've been awake. I'm not like these other ones that stay up all night and watch freaking every live stream that there is. I actually go to bed at night. So
do you?
Yeah, I do. So what's up?
So I made this video yesterday about the shooting of an unarmed white man named Daniel Shaver.
Oh, okay.
Happened in 2016, and it was a really good video, and I worked on it really hard to get it out there. Misdemeanor saw it. A bunch of people saw it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to go watch it.
Well, here's the thing. I get up this morning, and YouTube removes it for inappropriate content, and they don't tell me why. They just remove it. I didn't get a strike or anything. They just took it down for inappropriate content. All right. They never said. So I'm appealing.
Do you still have it?
Well, I'm re-uploading it.
Oh, okay.
I'm re-uploading right now. And here's the problem. It shows an unarmed white man being killed by police, right? And I got the clips from other YouTube videos. This happened in 2016. Right. And I did it really nice. There was nothing. I mean, it does show the shooting. I put the warning up, which is fine when you put the warning up. Mm-hmm. And YouTube just removes it for inappropriate content. And they give me no reason why. Well, I'm thinking to myself, all these George Floyd videos out there. They showed him there. Stepped on his neck and everything else. All these protest videos. But we put up a video about a white guy getting killed by police, and YouTube says that it's inappropriate and doesn't give a reason why.
I agree. Maybe that's a little racist.
It is racist.
Maybe that's a little racist. I don't know.
It's going back up, and I'm gonna keep putting it back up and let them take my channel because it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
They're gonna give me he was shot and killed by police, unarmed, and it was very sad for anybody to look at. White, black, green, yellow. Mm-hmm. But usually when YouTube gives you an inappropriate content, they tell you why. This one just says it's removed for inappropriate content. I got no strike.
Did you get an email? Maybe because I get emails usually.
They didn't even email me.
They've done that to me before, but I've always gotten an email first to tell me what the inappropriate conduct is and why.
They didn't give me any reason. So
no reason. I would appeal it.
Well, it just ticks me off. Yeah, usually they email you. It just ticks me off because it seems kind of prejudicial to me.
It does. It sounds like, well, I don't like to say it, but it does sound like it's okay to show a black man being, well, I don't know if we actually saw him being killed, but we did see
They
the whole
showed
thing.
they showed George Floyd's
Yeah,
death.
yeah.
They showed it. They showed it where he was crying for.
So, was that on YouTube though that they showed it, or was that on
Oh
the
yeah,
news?
it's all over YouTube. Yeah,
Okay.
and
I saw it on a news channel.
it just kind of ticks me off because he has a story that needs to be told too. At this point, so what I did is I went back and I tried to figure out what they were saying was inappropriate. But I'm re-uploading it right now, and I'm gonna keep re-uploading it, and they can have my channel.
What if you lose your channel? Which channel are you loading it?
It's on my main channel. You see, it's on my main channel. Here's the thing, though. People keep saying, go back to showing your stories, your true crime-ish type stuff. And it's the first one I've done for a while, and YouTube is playing this bullshit.
Well, is there words in it because I know if you say certain words now, they're taking videos down.
It gives me
like the P word you're not allowed to say, and some other.
It gives me no reason. It just
honestly, I don't know. I don't know why they would do that even.
Well, I'm re-uploading the video, which is 30 minutes long, and then I'm gonna go back and show what YouTube is. I'm showing my appeal, but it just says inappropriate content. No strike, no nothing. They just removed it. Usually, when you have inappropriate content, they give you a strike.
Exactly.
And I get no strike or no nothing, as far as I know.
Well, and they usually send you an email because any video that they've asked me to take down, I've gotten an email first warning me to take it down, and if I don't take it down, they take it down.
Yeah, anybody can go look at the Daniel Shaver story. You can see it everywhere else on YouTube.
And they're not letting you do it. I would totally appeal.
It took a while to reinstate to get it uploaded because I worked on it hard. Misdemeanor saw it. It was a really good video.
How long is the video?
30 minutes long. It was really good because when I do stories, I put the 911 calls, I put all the details in there and I really worked hard on it, and it pisses me off.
Robbie got a hamster and the emojis. Just for you.
But people can do drama videos. And, fuck you, suck my dick. And
I know.
Up good.
People get away with a lot of stuff on here. I wouldn't understand. That's to me, that's kind of an educational, video. Hi, honey, boo boo.
Very well. Misdemeanor saw it, and wherever she is.
Yeah, she's fired. Robbie, there's a hamster. Sally Hamster's in the emojis. We got a Sally Hamster in there. Let me put her up. Sally Hamster.
Kind of aggravated about that.
There she is. I don't blame you. I would appeal it. I would totally appeal it. Hi, guys. How are you? Whoever I forgot to say hello to.
Let me see. Whenever you try to do, I said, let me switch and do something different. I got all these drama videos up. Let me put up something good, and YouTube wants to be a dick.
Yeah, that sucks big time. That sucks big time. Hi, Mama Three Girls, Babe Beauty, whoever I didn't say hello to. We got some more emojis. I guess when you get more people, you get more emoji. I don't know how it works on here. But yeah. Oh, he loves her. Yay. I'm glad. So what else is new, Brian? New on the YouTube. I'm totally out of the loop on everything that went on.
You know what? I've gotten to the point where
you don't give a shit.
Even some of my friends, even some of the people that are my friends, or I thought were my friends. You know what? I'm to the point now. It's like whatever.
Hey, Jenna. Sorry, dealing with the dogs while listening. I hear that.
I'm just to the point now where the drama is getting boring.
Oh, the dramas. I think it's getting boring even for the subs anymore.
And
it's just like the same thing over and over. You keep your name out of my mouth. I'll keep your name out of my mouth. I'm going to show you this screenshot. I'm going to show you that screenshot. I'm that troll. I'm this troll. Oh, God, come on. Who gives a shit? I don't care who's a troll anymore. Just stay out of here. Don't start trouble with me.
My biggest thing is these people that I thought were my friends.
Yeah, that's sad.
that I thought would never support some of the things they're supporting now.
Yeah.
Some of the people that I thought would have my back, because
Mm-hmm.
I've always had theirs. And I come to find out, you know what? They're just a person in the fucking screen.
All right.
Trust nobody. Give your attention. You know, it's just sickening. It's just sickening what some of the people that I thought were my friends will tolerate now and what they'll do now.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I hear you. I hear you.
It's like,
I hear you. That's why, like, I'm staying out of like most chats. I'm not starting any trouble with anybody, but I just don't want to be involved in it.
when you
And you want to, you know, people threaten me all the time. I'm going to drop this. I'm going to drop that. You can drop it.
well, when you invest your time and
Like if people are going to turn on me for a freaking screenshot or something that was talked about in private, so be it. Oh well.
when
Yeah.
when you invest your time and your energy and your heart into a friendship and you stay loyal and you're always there, and then you watch these same people that you've always, you know, that I've always thought were my friends,
Right.
thought they cared,
Right.
and you find out that they're just
Smokey.
they don't. They're just pieces of shit, really, to be honest with you.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what hurts the most is, I think, anyways, your enemies can hate you, and that's fine. You expect that from them. But when you have a friend that turns on you or goes on a panel and badmouths you or whatever, that hurts. I don't care who you are, Brian. You're a big tough guy, but it kind of hurts on some level.
Well,
It's like it makes you bitter. Like especially, you know, if you've helped them or if you've had their back or only wanted to be their friend and asked nothing in return, and then they turn on you like that. It's hi, Lady K.
Well, the hypocrisy is what makes me sick. The hypocrisy. It's like, you know, I thought you were my friend.
Hey, Remy.
I thought you were a good person. I thought you were a real person.
Brian, what you doing, Brian? What are we doing, Brian?
It's not Trigger Tuesday. It's Talk Tuesday. So
hi, Remy.
Let's Talk Tuesday. Anybody can come up. So what's up, Remy? I missed everything last night, to be honest with
What
you.
are you doing up here, Brian? What are you talking about, Brian? Here, Brian.
What'd I do?
What happened?
Oh, you talking about my video, or are you talking about just me on this rant?
Actually, it got taken down. I was halfway through it, and I'm like, I just sat here for 15 freaking minutes, and they took it down halfway through, and I was like, you mother effer.
It was good, wasn't it? It was very well
thank
done.
you, honey boo boo. I've got that in my description too. If you guys look in my description, it's about Smoky P's live on Wednesday night at 9. So yeah, I made sure to put that up. Hey, Elms.
Brian,
fired.
So what happened with this friend thing there, Brian? Because I mean, you sent me divorce papers, so.
Yeah, that's all because you alienated me.
I am not going to base friendships on who's popular or not.
No,
I just am not. I'm not going to do it anymore because I've had people that I thought were my friends that have turned on me because of the friends I have. Like, fuck it. I don't care. I just don't give a shit anymore. I'm going to have the friends I have, and that's.
I think sometimes a prime example of this is, you know, Wendy and Republican Ash spoke, and Wendy was very hurt due to the fact that Ash went up on Make a Mobster's panel, which I can understand because of their issues, etc. And, you know, Wendy was hurt. It's not, I can understand, like, say, I don't know, Carla, you and I are really, really good friends, right? We talk all the time, blah, 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 blah. And you go up on a panel, you know, and they're bashing the shit out of me. I'm going to be like, what the heck, dude? Like, what? Really? So I can understand, you know.
Been there, done that. Been there, done that. I've seen many. You know what? But I'm not going to tell people that they can and can't talk to. I'm not.
Exactly.
I'm just not going to.
Well, I want to put a disclaimer out there right now. I am not talking about Republican Ash. I get accused of it every day. I'm ignoring her. I'm just watching her little comments that she makes about me. But I'm not talking about Republican Ash. I'm not going to argue with Republican Ash, just as I wouldn't argue with a 4-year-old.
And I've asked
That's all I
Brian
gotta
not
say
to,
about
not
that.
on this channel, to just stay
Hey,
away from that subject. I wish
that's a
her
good
well.
thing.
I wish her
Yeah.
well. I'm not going to bash her. I'm not going to trash her. But, you know, you have to sometimes make decisions for your channel and what you think is appropriate. I'm not going to allow somebody to come up on my panel and bash me. I'm just not. Sorry. But I wish her well.
Mm-hmm.
And if people don't understand it, so be it. Like, you know.
But I will say this.
But I don't.
Sorry, I had
I'm
a
not
mute.
going to say anything
I
to anybody that wants to, you know.
I will say this.
But,
I hope Wendy understands how I feel at this point.
I'm sure she does, and I'm sure, you know, I think we all can understand how each other feels. You know, whether we like it or not, we're not just people behind a screen. Many of us, you know, have formed real friendships.
There's a few.
What?
There's a few that I formed what I thought was a real friendship with. But when it comes down to, I don't know, when it comes down to it, come on, man, really? So
Now you know how I felt. I was like, really?
some of these people turned out to be just.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like, why did I waste my time and effort into putting, you know?
hey, Amanda.
Brian, then you
Hey, Lady
can
K.
learn from every experience.
Sorry.
You know that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how. That's
Well, there's a
Like
difference
what
between
Colleen said, that's
friendship.
why.
I mean, a real friendship, getting to know someone on a personal level, and having acquaintances on here.
Yeah.
An acquaintance doesn't owe you anything, but I think a friend at least owes you
they owe
the
you courtesy.
the opportunity, if you have a beef with them, to talk in private. And that's one thing I'm not going to do with anybody that is friends with me, is that I'm not going to take you and go up on my platform and bash you.
I always thought that if
Have it done to me.
I always thought that if you had a good friend and they had an issue with you, that they brought it up in private and they discussed that issue with you in private. They don't come to a panel and leave little shitty comments in the chat about you being a child and then go to another panel and act like a child. The same.
Well, Brian, that was my thing. Remember, you and I had many conversations about this. What did I say? I'm not doing this in public. I'm not doing this in public. I don't want to do this in public. Blah, 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 blah. And look what happened. But, you know.
Well, here's the thing with Remy, and I've said it over and over. Remy's never badmouthed. That I know of, that I've seen in my chat. And I appreciate that, because I don't want that done here. I mean,
it's just not my thing. You know, I try to treat people the way I want to be treated.
Is she blocked here? Yeah, she's blocked here. I blocked her after the last time she jumped on my panel and just
let me stand
I
up.
would have done that to anybody.
I'm
not treating her any different.
Let me stand up for Remy here a little bit.
Oh God. Oh wait, Brian, really quick. Did you age restrict that video?
No.
Maybe that's why it was.
What you got to do.
Usually they don't take down your video. They just age restrict it.
I have to do mine manually.
Yeah. Let me stick up for Remy.
Oh boy.
Remy was kicked out of a Discord because it was thought that she took some personal information out of that Discord and gave it over to Makeup Mobster. Right?
Never happened.
Well, I did tell Remy some things that was going on back then, but Remy's not the one that gave that information to Makeup Mobster. And I know this now because they've been talking to people I work with.
What?
They have been talking to people
I heard that point.
With. And the people that I work with know exactly what's going on. They knew about my moving. They knew about all of that. They've actually been talking to people that I work with, 3 of them.
That's smart.
So we can't just blame Remy for taking information out of a Discord.
Brian, I hate to interrupt you. Carl, I just got to hop down for a few minutes. My kid's therapist is here.
Okay.
All right, bye.
So we can't just blame Remy for taking something out of a Discord when now that I know that they have actually been talking to 3 people that I work with. I found this out yesterday.
Wow.
So
is it a friend of yours?
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, but see, remember, Full On Drama said she's been talking to someone from my work. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's 3 people from my work that know about everything that I've been doing, and one of those people, one of those people has talked to Full On Drama, and then they start talking to this other one, this other one, this other one. So there's 3 people from my job that have put out, that have gave information, and so I just can't give it all to blame it all on Remy. I'm not gonna do that. I thought so too at first. I was like, well, I did tell her that. Now Makeup Monster knows it, but no, I'm not gonna let her take the blame for that when there's other people that.
Well, is that why everybody's mad at her? I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, that's why I want to.
And here's another thing, and I'm going to call out hypocrisy on here. Everybody says that the rules in Discord are not to take any what's said in Discord stays in Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my question is, why was it okay for Mandy Bell to make a video about a Discord I was in and try and make me look? Why was that okay? Why was that okay? Why was that okay for your general amusement?
I don't know.
Why is it so bad that they did it to Stephanie Brown, but it wasn't bad when she did it to me? And then them calling me shady? I think shady was, and I'm going to say this out loud, shady was her making a video from Life with Jen, that stuff that she got from Life with Jen, and putting that on a public forum. So, you know what? You can trust who you want to trust. I know who I can trust now. So,
I would
never do that. I would never take stuff that was in Discord, private messages, whatever. I would never do that, and have never done it.
Or when somebody
a text message that I got from TNT with a handful of pills saying that I was the reason she relapsed. But yet I find out that she sent that same text. She screenshotted it herself and sent it to several people.
Or when one of my good friends comes in and goes, "You're picking on an autistic person. You're picking on an autistic person," and then 3 days later goes on a panel making jokes about somebody on the spectrum.
Right.
Making jokes about people being gay and getting butt fucked. But
Marsha, is that you?
That's me.
Okay. How are you?
Hi, Mama Sharky.
Hey, Brian.
How are you feeling?
Pretty good. I hope it lasts. I hope it's not just steroids.
Me too. I sent out prayers to you the other day.
Take what you can get, Mama Sharky.
Yeah, that's right. Live one day at a time.
It's good to see you.
I just wanted to say real quick, Brian is my friend. I've never hid that. Never will. And when we've had issues, we talk private, like you're saying. I'll say, Brian, and he'll answer me. And that's what we do. Brian has been my friend for almost as long as I've been on here. And I'm going to say Brian is 100% right about FOD. And I think these people that are playing with her don't know what they're doing.
Nope.
Because unlike the 3 amigos, she is the same way. But she's a smooth talker. She speaks well. And she makes you think, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with me. Look how kind and nice and intelligent I am, which the others can't carry on. And that makes her even more dangerous. I don't really care what she thinks of me. She already has said I'm a racist. Prove it, bitch. I'm about the furthest you can get from that.
All these racists running around here, Mom.
Well, and I've had issues with Brian too, and I've always taken it to him privately. And he knows that. And we don't always agree, but I'm not going to humiliate him on a panel and yell and scream at him for things that I don't agree with he's done. And I know he wouldn't do that to me either.
Right.
He's not going to make a video, calling me
all. The world
right.
knows that Remy and I have had issues in the past, but guess what we do? We speak behind us. We speak privately.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, in most of my real friends, we speak privately. I don't expect any friend of mine to agree with everything I do.
It's not going to happen.
No. As a matter of fact, a real friend will say, "Hold up.
Yeah.
Think again."
Mm-hmm. And they'll give you constructive criticism.
Right.
They won't criticize you for something just because someone else is their friend. They won't criticize you for things and then go to another panel 2 days later and do the same thing that they just criticized you for.
Right. Here's my thing too, Brian and Carla. Here's the other thing. You don't I can't, if Carla suddenly went crazy just now and drank that cup of coffee and started calling everybody in her chat, CUNT muffins and twat Twitters and these kind of things. Could you or I, Brian, stop her? No. And if we go to another panel, why should we be saying, "Oh, well, you were up there while she called them twat Twitters"? Anybody who does that is just using that.
Yeah.
We're all adults. Nobody's responsible for what anybody else says.
See, when Ems is on a panel and they start talking about something she doesn't like, she drops off.
Down. Yeah.
I have dropped off panels.
Yes.
I think we all have.
I have too. And I wasn't comfortable with what they were saying.
Right.
I just pretend my internet.
You're on a panel or in a chat doesn't mean you're signing off or co-signing what's being said.
That's why I said to people, and Ems jumped up on my panel the other day and said, "Oh, some people aren't going to be happy with me because of some of the chats they see me in." I said, I'm not one of those people because I'm not following people around the internet.
No, me neither.
Chat they're in. That's on you. You have to decide what which chats you want to go in.
Yeah, me neither. I'm not doing it like I was, but I heard Brian up here and I haven't had a chance to say what I was saying publicly about FOD. And I wanted to say that because I just know some people are buying her game and it just really bugs the hell out of me. It does.
She hates me because I won't.
Those people that are drawing close to FOD, as soon as they do something she doesn't like, they're going to be in the same position I was with FOD.
Right.
And I've been trying to warn people for months about her, and nobody wanted to believe me. They wanted to make friendships with her, and like Randy suffered the repercussions of that.
Yes.
When your husband takes flowers that you throw, that he throws them away,
you're fired, misdemeanor.
That's right, thanks. The end of talking about it. You should think of your husband's feelings first before some idiot on
YouTube. That's right.
And it's very disappointing to me that Randy would still have conversations with her after her husband took those flowers and threw them away.
Well, I think Randy's seeing it, and in the process, it hurt other people around her. But
yeah, I have a hard time listening.
But you know what? People have to find things out for themselves.
They do.
That's what I've had to do. I've had to find out who my friends are, who to keep close, and who to keep at arm's length. And I've done that. I've had to find out the hard way. Really, that's a really freaking hard way. And now I know who I can trust. And Brian, believe it or not, and Brian is like so, his reputation is, as soon as he gets mad, he has never dropped one single thing that I've ever told him. And he could.
Me neither.
Not one single thing. And I'll tell you, if you're his friend, you're his friend. He'll have your back.
I believe in loyalty. Loyalty is very important to me. Unless somebody's doing something wrong, you don't.
Well, that's right. You're not going to be loyal to someone.
You don't back the wrong behavior. You might want to talk about it behind the scenes, but no, if somebody's doing something wrong, you're not loyal then. But I'm a big believer in loyalty.
Like I said, if Carla went crazy, started calling everybody twat Twitters. I don't have Carla's text number, but I'd probably text her, say, girl.
Mm-hmm.
His demeanor's not here.
I'd like to have that, actually. Maybe.
As far as far as Randy goes, I always liked Randy.
I don't buy people, by the way. I wait for them to. You know,
I always liked Randy, even when we had that little thing with the whole race.
You were really hurt by that.
Yeah, I was, because it came from nowhere, and I still like Randy, but I just can't. I just can't. You know what I mean?
Well, FOD's a big problem after what FOD's done. I know that I saw a clip, I think it was yesterday, although it had happened maybe the day or two before, where Starlight was talking to FOD on a panel. I don't know where it was. But anyway, and Starlight was calling her out for threatening to call call CPS on Starlight. Mm-hmm. And she was dancing all around it. I've got the screenshot where she threatened it.
Yep. She said she was just joking.
Oh, bull.
She was just joking.
No, she gaslights a lot.
FOD do not joke.
She gaslights. She tries to make people think she's trying to make everybody else think they're crazy. We know exactly what she's about.
I thought she was just talking shit when she said she was going to call them on me.
Yeah, everybody did.
Mm-hmm. Do you notice FOD hasn't called
how she can defend that?
FOD hasn't called CPS on any other YouTuber but me.
No. And the people that and I'll use the word because I've used it before, entertained her during that time, to me are just as responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think Hello Starlight really had her owned her in that.
Yes, she did.
What I saw.
Yeah, I only saw a clip of it too. I haven't
Wendy
seen.
B. Because Wendy B happens to be a little bit biased at times. I think Starlight had won that one.
But Marianne had FOD up there to the point where she was just about to go. She didn't have.
Yeah, she was stumbling with her words. I noticed that.
There is going to be a day when FOD and I panel up. There's going to be that day. It's going to happen.
Oh,
right now, no, I can handle her. But see, she won't come to my panel. She'll be in the chat talking shit, and I won't panel up with you. And she's in my chat telling people, well, you support Brian because you're here. You support it, but you're here.
Right.
You're here full on drama. Does that mean you support me?
I've had her blocked for so long it doesn't even.
You know what? I had her blocked. She came in here on Flynn Master.
And I've got 70 of her accounts blocked. I probably have 70 blocked.
I didn't even know who she was.
Mm-hmm. She don't know who she is.
Ms. Demeanor. While you were, Ms. Demeanor, are you here?
Here she is.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah.
You were late, and Carla called everybody twat Twitters. I'm starting the rumor.
The hell?
Yeah, you're getting a write-up.
Oh, God.
We're going to have like a 10-member panel and discuss it for 4 hours.
There you go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Rumor.
You sound good this morning.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Mama
I sound what?
I see how long it takes to get that rumor around.
I tell you, it's the steroid, Brian. It's the steroids.
Oh.
Well, you sound good. I mean, when you were doing your last live, I was like, man, she sounds so frail.
Oh, pneumonia was so bad. I have learned, and my husband and I were actually talking about this last night. The lows get a little lower. The highs don't get as high. And I about didn't give myself a week.
Yeah.
But he finally got me on the right antibiotic. The cough is better, and no fever. The steroids are helping, and I haven't raged on anybody yet.
Yeah, don't let that. Yeah.
Nope.
That's not good for your health.
The steroids can make her become angry if they don't work right. That's what she means.
I have really just stayed. I'll go in like a stream or two of my friends, and I haven't been to Carla's in a while, so let me go share some love. And
thank you so much.
Anywhere you go, it's a blessing.
I'm thinking about what's important in life, and like Kelly Preston died of breast cancer, and Lisa Marie Presley shot himself at 27 years old, and we worry about who says what in what chat, and it's just not that important.
No, my husband my husband had a friend. Now we don't know this man, but him and his wife were in a grocery store, and she fell over and died of a heart attack in a grocery store.
Huh.
You just never know.
Well, I say tomorrow's not promised.
No.
We just have today, guys, so make the best of it. Be good to each other.
Well,
And it doesn't matter if we're not all on the same side, because
No.
I'm so sick of this, like you're on that side and you're on this side. As long as you're being kind to each other, you're all welcome in here. I don't care.
Isolation is the narcissistic technique, and that's what she was doing
yeah.
when that started.
Right.
Ms. Demeanor, are you sick?
No, I just woke up. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you sounded like your throat was sore. That's fine.
It is a little bit. I'm not COVID, I hope, whatever. But it was, yesterday, our heat index was 115 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah.
And,
I went out to try to sit on the deck. I couldn't even breathe.
yeah, it's
I
kicking
know.
our ass.
We have such humidity here that when you go outside when it's that hot, that it just takes your breath away. And you just, I'm staying in the air conditioning. I'm not going anywhere because our cases of COVID have spiked here.
They have.
We can't go anywhere, and I hate wearing those masks. I'll tell you, I get claustrophobia whenever I wear them.
Don't make me tell the peeing man story again now, Carl.
Yeah,
Have you heard it? I know you've heard it. You've been in my streams.
You
Haven't
heard
you,
the-
Carla?
the PM.
Yeah, I'm in your streams all the time.
I know.
Are you doing another
But
one?
are you in the P and Man stream?
Have you heard that story?
Not
Man,
sure.
She kind of does like me, in and out of chats. But, okay, this is the mass theory. In a nutshell, you're walking down the street. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're socially distancing from people. You have your mask and your clothes on. Your clothes are your mask in this story. You see somebody come running at you, but you can't tell what's going on. But you move over on the sidewalk, and they get closer, and they're naked, and it's a man. And he's peeing. And that pee is going every which way because he's running.
I did hear that story.
You might get a few drops on you because you've socially distanced, right? However, if he was wearing his clothes or his mask, as he come running at you, you're not going to get it on you. Most of it's going to stay on him. And that's the theory behind the mask.
That makes sense.
If everybody wears the mask, you cannot pass it.
The city of Dayton has made it mandatory that you have to wear a mask when you go inside of any store or any place like that. And yesterday we were walking into a convenience store, and as we were coming in, the lady's like, "You got to wear your mask," And I was getting ready to put mine on anyway. But we got, me and my boss, we got our mask on, and when we go up to the register, this lady's wearing her mask, but she's got it down around her throat.
Oh God, that
I
doesn't.
know people have been doing that. I'm like, it pisses me off. Why am I wearing my mask? If they're not wearing.
I spoke up. I said,
Good.
"Can I see your manager right now?" And she called the manager over. The manager had her mask. I said, "Why is she hollering at people to put their mask on while she's got hers around her throat?"
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
I told that girl, I said, "I'm sorry that I had to do that." I said, I'm not sorry because I had to do that. I'm sorry because you didn't already know.
Right.
Was
Marsha,
it a
have you
worker?
heard that we have a whole new strain here in Texas?
Yes, I do. I did. I heard that. I heard it last night, actually.
Yeah.
They've got what?
We have a whole new
a mutation. And right now, Miami is New York City, which is going to be even worse. And and then Houston.
Is that
Because New York and Miami, everybody's from somewhere else, right?
Yeah. The thing about Houston and Miami is that when New York was so big and the quote unquote epicenter, it was New York City. It wasn't two giant cities. So you're going to have Miami and Houston being epicenters at the same time.
Yeah, because Houston's kind of like that too. It's just about everybody from Houston is usually from somewhere else.
Exactly.
They come from everywhere. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm only an hour and a half away from Houston. So.
Oh wow, Ms. Demeanor, I didn't know you.
And you know what they did in New York?
Yeah.
And they stopped them from leaving the state of New York. I mean, you're in quarantine, but they caught that too late. And they're not leaving the state if they come to me. They're just coming to the next city over. You know what I mean?
It's a shame because Houston is such a beautiful city and there's so many different people there.
Atlanta's the same way too. You know, Atlanta's
Yep.
a major not transient, but people aren't usually from there. You know what I mean? They're
Right.
around there or from somewhere else. And Atlanta's being swamped. Atlanta's going to pop up next. This is what the fear was in the United States. Having more than one epicenter. Because we had Seattle, the area, you know, Washington State. And then it popped up into the Northeast, New York. And everybody was so proud of California, including myself. Because the governor did the right things. They shut it down quick. And everybody kept saying, "Oh, it's going to be a disaster if it hits California like it did, you know, Washington State." Well, it didn't. But guess what's happening now?
Yeah,
Coming in.
Memorial Day, the protests on the 4th of July, and the governor, the president demanding that states open up too quick. And that's why you have Texas and California. Florida is a whole different story because that governor he believed it was a hoax, you know. So.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I blame Abbott a whole lot more than I blame Trump. Trump doesn't have the authority to force the state to open, but Abbott panicked. And he saw his state economy tanking.
Yeah.
And then he put pressure on the business owners, which you didn't have to put a lot of pressure on them. They wanted to open up. They're hungry.
Yeah.
We haven't worked here and I don't know how long.
Stand up to Trump is not worth their weight, right?
Do what?
Any governor who didn't stand up to Trump, as they know.
Well, but I mean, how hard did he push? He can't legally force him to open. And every governor is going to be reelected pretty soon too, so they're going to want to make their constituents happy and get them all back to work.
He had to hold over their heads technically, which
is what he's about to.
But in my opinion, what he doesn't have any longer, just to be 100% honest with you. But at the time when this started, he had it. Money. He had Congress would back him no matter what, and he could hold money over the heads of governors, like he's trying to do with the schools. He can't do that with the schools.
Yeah.
That money's already there.
Well, my kids aren't going back to school until this thing is gone.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people are keeping their kids at home right now.
It's bad enough you send your kids to schools without these viruses, you know, because you got people that work in the schools that you can't trust. But
right.
I'm not. My kids aren't going back to school until it's gone.
I was listening to a superintendent of the Los Angeles County school system. I guess Los Angeles is combined Los Angeles and the county. But anyway, they were saying that because I guess they didn't follow certain guidelines, you know, they only got $10 million to go toward COVID, for COVID resources for the coming year. And he said the thing is that $10 million will go in technology way before it will buy supplies and prevention. He said it's gone in technology to educate kids at home and keep them current during the summer, because some places parents are still teaching.
Yeah.
Joey Lang says our schools are opening in 3 weeks. I think that's a big mistake.
It's going to be a disaster.
Well, the bad thing.
I do.
Look
I
at
really think
the bad thing with the schools opening is if you get one case of COVID,
Yep.
or a family member that doesn't go to that school has COVID, they're going to shut that school down, and you're going to have to do it.
Yep.
That's what they have to do. So these schools aren't going to stay open long anyway. My kids aren't. They're doing that here in Dayton. They've already told us that the kids have to go back to school, but if they get one case, they're going to shut the school down. No, my kids aren't going.
Yeah.
Right.
My kids are going to stay right here and do the homeschooling like they've been doing, because that's what it's going to be anyway. They'll probably run for 2 days, and then they'll find out, it's COVID. Then they're going to shut it down anyway. I'm not confusing my kids like that.
No.
I'm not doing it. They're going to stay.
It's not going to work, and it wouldn't surprise. Of course, you've got, and I'm just going to be honest here. I'm not being political. I'm being honest. You have Trump trying to down talk Fauci, who is most Americans, I think it's almost 70% recognized, knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then he retweets Chuck Woolery, who was doing Love Connection while Fauci was figuring out how to test and treat AIDS. So
Chuck Woolery.
Yeah, the game show host.
Yeah.
So people need to remember those little things. I'll tell you another little tidbit is Florida. If Florida was a country and not a state, right now, it would be ranked 4th in the world. Here's the other thing that's getting ready to happen, and Ms. Demeanor is going to see this as well as y'all from Florida, and we're seeing it in North Carolina already, where you have record diagnosis being made with limited testing. You had the correct testing. I'd hate to think what the numbers were, but you have limited, you have thousands. Like yesterday, Florida had 15,000 diagnosed. They have, in Miami-Dade alone, they have 18,000 in the hospital with COVID. 1,800 ICU beds. They don't have any ICU beds. They're treating ICU patients in the emergency room. So, you got that. Now, what happens next? Deaths. Right now the governor's bragging, oh, well, we, don't have that many deaths. These people, a lot of them are not going to go home.
Yeah.
So the next number that's going to go up in Texas and in Florida is the death rates.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They are saying we probably won't hit 200,000 until September. No, we'll be there way before September.
Well, Clancy says, I went to my GP doctor for the first time since the pandemic. She told me that many doctors she knows are taking hydroxychloroquine, the anti-malaria drug that the FDA is asking for approval.
Okay, let me give you an update on that.
Mm-hmm.
The FDA has said no. It cannot be used off-label, which means it cannot be used for COVID. Because of the side effects. They broke from Trump, just like the CDC is getting ready to come out in the next today or tomorrow about masks. And I've been saying this all along. These people who are tying bandanas around their face or T-shirts or cloth masks that aren't layered, they're wasting their time.
Yeah.
So you've got thousands, maybe tens of thousands walking around with bandanas thinking they're protecting themselves. But they're not.
As soon as that gets moist, it's done.
Yeah. But the other problem, too, is the opening. The mask literally, and Ms. Demeanor knows this, needs to fit tight around your face. You've got a bandana tied. You've got an opening at the bottom. Mm-hmm. The virus is airborne now. It's mutating, like Ms. Demeanor says. And that makes it stays in the air for much longer. The church thing is killing people too. I know that some people, and I understand it, wholeheartedly think that they should have the right to go to church, and you should, and you do. But in a time of pandemic, the government or national safety, the government can and should be telling you what to do. When you speak, you're spitting out and you have the virus 3 to 4 feet. Okay. When you cough, 6 to 12 feet. When you sing, 12 to 18 feet. Mm-hmm. So that's why you hear these mega churches where they have like 200 or 300 people come down with it, because they were practicing their religion, singing and exposing that many more people. And at the end, airborne, it lingers in the air much longer.
Mm-hmm. And it can stay there it can stay on surfaces for like 3 days, right?
All right. Well, yeah. Here's if you think about, some people don't really understand aerosol versus airborne. And if you look at sprays, let's look at sprays. Lysol spray, that we spray around to sanitize. You feel it and you smell it, right? Febreze, you feel it and you smell it. Now those little cones and the Christmas trees that you see, but you don't see spray. You only smell. That's what I meant to say. You smell an odor, which tells you an odor is airborne, but you don't feel it. That's the difference.
It makes sense.
That a lot of people don't realize. If you're smelling it, the molecules are airborne, or the virus is airborne.
Yeah.
And you can't see it, and you can get it you can smell the little Christmas tree. If it's just being aerosolized, it's like your can of Lysol or Febreze that you feel and smell and see.
Wow.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't getting that. And I know in the United States we're instant, and around the world except for we're instant gratification. But if you compare us to even Sweden is people were touting Sweden as being the way we should go, not shut anything down. Sweden is becoming inundated with cases because they've only backed down a little bit. I know it is misbehaving. I know it is. But, even the Spanish flu in 1918, people figured out eventually how to stop it. But we carried it around the world in trains during World War I. But they figured out how to stop it. And what was that? Don't go around sick people.
Yeah.
But yet we here in the States think that we can go in a church or a protest or a grocery store and that we have the right to do it without a mask. My daddy taught me this. I say this all the time. Your rights end where my rights begin. And vice versa. You don't have a right to make me sick. I don't have a right to make you sick.
No. No. Like Samara says, she's been ordering the foods, because if you have Amazon, they got the Whole Foods thing. They'll bring it right to your house.
Yeah.
It's relatively inexpensive as well. And I've done that a couple times because they won't go out. Plus, they got a good selection,
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, even the people that are delivering stuff, they don't want to. They'll leave it at your door. They don't want to have any contact, which is good.
I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Me either.
Yeah.
Hey, Diane.
The other thing I was going to say is that if you don't think the Constitution or the United States has the right to tell you what to do in the interest of public safety, I want everybody to go get in their cars, find a 20, 30, 25 mile an hour zone, and drive through it at 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, you watch.
Bottom line, you think that your government can't tell you what to do? Why are you wearing your seatbelt?
Well, but let me ask you this. How does the government tell people what to do when they're out in the street with no mask on, around their necks, whatever, rioting, burning down buildings, threatening people with physical harm? The minute that the government wants to step in and send people in there to help stop that, he's called a dictator.
Yeah.
No, well, he is. He wants to be, but he's not. But here's where he went wrong.
No, but see, I like him, Marcia.
That's okay. You can. I like you. I don't. Brian knows I don't have a problem with it.
I just think that if anybody took 5 minutes out of their life
I
to
wish
go
that
sit
he
behind
would've
that desk in the
done what he
Oval
should've done.
Office, I think it would be a little bit more difficult than what everybody
No,
makes
I
out to
can
be.
tell you
He
point
can't just snap his fingers and say, "This is
He
how
could
it's
have
going to
in
be."
January.
Huh?
He
In,
could have in January.
in January,
Yes, ma'am.
he started trying to.
It's
Oh,
He shut down travel from China, and what happened?
and how many
He's a
days
racist.
before that was enacted?
And how many people knew exactly what it was? I had
I
it back in
know.
November.
He
I
said,
had it, Marcia. I had it in November,
yeah.
and I'd fight anybody to the death to say I didn't.
"Have you had the antibody test?
No.
Go get the antibody test because they made
Why?
me last
Why, Marcia? Nurse to nurse.
I'm
Seriously?
telling you, nurse to nurse, that you know as well as I do that if it had not been 2 months wasted saying this was a hoax, or March 1st when he said we've
I
got.
never heard him say it was a hoax.
Oh my God, Ms. Demeanor, go do the research.
Okay, I'll do it.
Do the research. See his response in January and February. He literally called it a hoax.
I think he did try to downplay it a bit, but they
And then March
started getting
1st
on.
came out when we had one case and said, "Oh, we just have one." That was that man in Washington State. And then it was okay. Well, we've got 15, but they'll be well in a week. And by the end of March, we had several 100,000.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that. I just think that there was so much unsurety at first. I think maybe he shouldn't have said it the
But
way he
there wasn't. We had seen what other countries had done. And didn't they had it? Oh yes, Spain had it, France had it, England. They all had it. They shut down.
Yeah.
He kept saying it's a hoax.
Well, I'm an avid Trump supporter, and I was kind of disappointed too by him not wearing the mask.
Right.
Yeah, you got to lead by example. You got to lead by example. Even if he's the president, he's got the best health care of any individual.
Now, the minute that he put a mask on, he was going to be, scaring everybody in the country. I'm sure he's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't.
Misdemeanor. They needed to be scared. People needed to be scared.
Yeah.
That's the whole point I've had.
I wouldn't want Trump.
Well, I think there's a whole lot more blame to spread in this country than just one person.
Right.
A whole hell of a lot more.
I agree with that.
And a lot of the people that I blame are the very people who hold him accountable for everything that goes on in this country, which he's not accountable for.
Well, he did it. He holds people accountable for things that they aren't even in power for. He sat there yesterday and said, and misdemeanor, we need to have a debate. I love this.
No.
He sat there yesterday and it came out of his mouth. Well, Obama and Biden, they stopped testing midway. Testing of what? This wasn't around during Obama and Biden. Obama had Ebola, but it wasn't here other than the people who came back here. H1N1, they never stopped testing. They're still testing.
Yeah. It's hard.
Have someone putting out misinformation. The hexachloroquine that I started talking about a minute ago, that was total misinformation. You have to wonder who benefited from that misinformation.
It's hard to have a political discussion sometimes, it really is.
I know, and I'm trying. I think anybody who's watched my streams knows I've done everything to avoid getting political. But facts are facts. The United States is where it is right now because the entire federal government. You're right, misdemeanor, not just him.
Well, it's the states too.
Yeah,
the states too.
It's part of the government. The government. You're 1,000% right. Didn't want this to be. We didn't know what was coming. We didn't see the tsunami coming. Didn't want it to be. But if there had been more control initially, a lot of governors took their following from Trump. They did. And that's their president, and they should. But if we had done, even Italy, as swamped as Italy was with 60 million people, they almost have no cases now because of the way they just shut down. And they don't have the healthcare system we have. Now Miami and Houston can't even get remdesivir, which is an acknowledged treatment for it. Dexamethasone, the people are running out of it. And those are the two not proven, but observationally, objectively proven that do limit the extent of the illness and the timeline of the illness in a person. Hexachloroquine will kill you from a heart issue way before the COVID ever will. But that was promoted to the point that the governor in Florida, DeSantis, has 30 million doses of hexachloroquine sitting there that he was going to give to people to take. And he can't use it, but yet he can't get remdesivir. So you're right. The whole effing government screwed up. But the buck stopped somewhere. Our whole effing government let us down. States and feds.
And they got quiet. They got real quiet.
I think some people have been really irresponsible too. I blame some of that on people that don't listen to how serious this really. And I'm one of those people at the beginning of this. I didn't think it was that serious. I was like, oh, it's like the flu, if you know. But then it started getting serious for me.
Yeah, I know.
We have people online who sit here day after day after day who claim that they're tested. The doctor says it's positive, but he doesn't believe it because the test is wrong. They're going to work the whole time. According to, if you believe everybody online, which I don't. But yeah, right. I mean, it's like daily. It's like almost a joke to me now. I
Yeah.
wait for people to log on to see whether or not they have COVID again today, and if they're going to go to their job. And it's probably an attention-seeking thing, but it's very freaking annoying to me to say, so you're going to work? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How many times have you gotten tested? Oh, okay.
I agree 1,000%.
And there's no individual responsibility whatsoever.
None.
It's very easy to sit back and blame a whole lot of people, scientists, government, state government, your employer, whoever. But at the end of the day, to me, it's personal accountability.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
if your immune system is shit, stay home.
Yes.
If you want to live, if you don't, then go play in the park.
I would love to be out shopping. I'd love to go.
I know, but you
Oh
can't.
my God, I know.
My mother.
dying.
Listen, my mother is 85 freaking years old. Okay, and I get it. She believes in God. I do too. Love him. He's my best friend. But don't tempt his ass by every chance you get in your car in 150-degree heat with COVID running around and go buy flowers. Have you lost your freaking mind?
Thank you, Ms. Demeanor. Absolutely.
But I can't chain her down because then somebody would report me. So if I get caught, that's if I get caught.
It's even more trouble. Right.
I ground her every chance I get.
You might lose the keys, that kind of thing. So.
Yeah. So, there's that. But she has no personal accountability. None.
No, my husband, okay, he's been on 2 quarantines. Mm-hmm. And last week he got put on another one, the 3rd one, because his boss tested positive.
Sarah wouldn't report me.
Yesterday, he got a text from his boss saying that he's off quarantine because this is the other problem, Ms. Demeanor. This is a manufacturing industry issue.
Uh-huh.
The first test that he had done was that quick one,
Right.
But he went to the doctor Saturday, to a hospital actually, and demanded, and he's a wealthy man, he demanded what I tend to call the lobotomy test, because I've had 3 of them.
They want to go all the way back to the brainstem.
Yes. and they called him yesterday, called Hubs and said it was negative. So he could go back to work. Thank God. But he had just taken a week off, last week to be here with me when I was so sick. Mm-hmm. So you're right. It's personal accountability. And I'm gonna tell this little bit, and then I gotta step down because I'm getting tired. But our next door neighbor was a sheriff. Now he's a deputy in another county, and Jack had been locked down, since Friday. So he went crazy once he got that text. He went to the grocery store, he went to Subway for supper, he came home, he went and got milkshakes, he came home, and then he said, I'm going next door, which I knew where he was going. And they sat over there and talked about it. He told me when he came home that the neighbor had gone on a call at a Bojangles. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if everybody knows what Bojangles is, but it's kind of similar to Popeye, but
it's delicious.
Just as good, delicious, yeah. I love Bojangles. Anyway, he got a call to go to Bojangles because an older man started hollering at some teenagers who went into the restaurant because North Carolina's going back down, but we had just opened up restaurants, right? And they were in there without masks on and laughing and cutting up, and I guess this man said, y'all need to be wearing your mask, right? And they were laughing at him, and people were trying to tell these poor kids to stop. And one of them threatened him, and called him old man, blah, 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 blah. So another person called the police, and my neighbor went. And sure enough, he stood outside and watched them, like licking their hands and wiping it on stuff and all that, because, they think they're invincible when they're a teenager. That's where parents need to be teaching personal responsibility.
My dad got into it with somebody that wasn't wearing a mask. He's 77.
Yeah.
And he was in a store. He rides one of those Jazzies. He was in the store, and there was a couple in there at the register that didn't have their mask on. And he said he rode up, and he told him, hey, why don't you have some respect?
Right.
And my dad is not that outspoken like that to talk to people that way, but those people bought masks and put them on. He said
everything is a life lesson. Like those kids need to learn personal responsibility, like Misdemeanor's saying. Apparently they hadn't learned that. The other thing that we're learning, and my mom always said, and I'm sure others have heard it, when you'd say to your mom, I'm bored. Of course, this was the time before Game Boys, computers. You know, I'm an old person. But my mother said, well, if you're bored now, you're always going to be bored with yourself. Kids have had to learn how to entertain themselves. That's a life lesson. There are life lessons to be pulled from this. We are, you know, the song, My Brother Ain't Heavy. He's pretty damn heavy right now when they're dying all around you. 1 out of 100 people are testing positive for tests done in this country. And people aren't taking responsibility, like Ms. Demeanor says, and intentionally engaging in acts that will only spread it. She's right in those crowds of protesters. It only takes one person to infect many.
And we just had one yesterday, and I was watching on the news, and 3/4 of them weren't wearing masks. Don't give a shit. They're sitting, you know, by side. They're not like, how many people are they going to infect? Like, you know, I just don't get it. That's why I blame like a lot of people. They're irresponsible.
Yes.
And they're putting everybody else at risk. So.
Right. And the freedom of speech that they claim, and I'm saying this for all of them, I don't have a problem with people walking down the street, but the violence usually came with people that didn't care about, one, their self, or two, anybody else. We have the right to freedom of speech and expression based on our Constitution. Every single American does. But you don't have the right, the old story says, to go into a movie theater and shout fire when there is none, and cause panic and cause injury and people to be maimed and possibly killed. You don't have that right.
Really?
So these protesters going down the street without protection, without a mask, regardless of what they do, are screaming fire in a movie theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I've been staying home, not going anywhere. Seriously, I'm serious. I've been staying home.
Yeah. So, Ms. Demeanor, I still love you, even though we don't agree.
I love you too, honey.
I don't have the issue with people who don't think like I do.
I don't either.
That's how we learn.
It's okay if you're wrong. It's okay.
It's okay.
I still love you.
We'll see who's wrong. We'll see.
I hope not. I hope not. I just hope it dies off quickly and
it's not going.
We get back to the world that our spoiled ass world where we can do and whatever.
We will be the same as a country. And I'm not blaming that on one person, trust me. I'm blaming
people. I think what I'm most angry about at this stage in my life is the fact that we do have something that's ripping through our country that can kill us. Okay. Yes. And you have these absolute jackassian pieces of shit tearing down statues, painting major roads with the mayor, no less. You know, with hateful things. It's not a time to hate one another. It's a time to love each other.
Absolutely.
You know where they're coming from, don't you?
Oh yeah. Well, I have my theory.
Well, my theory is that no one has control over the pandemic, so they're doing things they have control over.
Well, I think that there's some opportunists that are in the country
yeah.
that see everybody out of work,
and
they'll pay them $25 to go and tear something up an hour. You know, and that's horrible. And I wish that we kind of wake up to that. And I think a lot of this would get back to a quarantine situation, taking care of one another like we're supposed to, like we've always done as a country until now.
Right.
This is not the country I grew up in.
No, it's not. And the sad thing is, it's never going to be normal again.
No, it's not. And I think
that's what makes me really sad.
It makes me sad too.
Well, Mama Sharky, you've been studying this whole thing and how it's affecting people and all this. Do you know anything about this? The unemployment, the $600 add-on to that. Did they extend that to December?
Not yet.
Not yet. Is Trump against? Trump's against that, right?
Well, depends on what day it is.
Right.
Well, she's right.
They haven't voted on it finally. It wouldn't shock me either way, to be honest with you.
If they take it away.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me for them not to include that.
So I think that what they'll do is probably just cut it down to 300, the extra 300.
Right, they'll lessen it. But then on the other hand, an election is coming. And I think that certain people in power, Congress, representatives, are knowing that's coming, and everyone wants to look good.
Yeah, Trump said that the second stimulus, the stimulus that's supposed to come back out, I heard him say that it's going to be very generous. He wants it to be more generous than the Democrats.
Well, he has said that, but Mitch McConnell has said, President Trump has said that he would like to see the 12 to 1,800 mark on the stimulus check and to keep the unemployment. However, the Speaker, not the Speaker of the House, but the President of the Senate, McConnell, Majority Leader, does not want that. So that's where you've got to look. That's where you've got to look. Is that the people who actually, and I'm talking about both chambers now, the people who are actually going to enact it, offer the bill and then spend the money. That's where you need to look. President Trump, President Obama, President Kennedy, President Reagan, anybody could sit there and say, I want this and this is what I want, knowing full well that the Senate and the House of Representatives are the only ones that have that power.
Right.
And that they can claim, I want everyone to get $2,000 a month from now through December, knowing it's not going to happen. That makes him look good, and he could point his finger at everybody else. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about Trump. I'm talking about that happens to every president.
Yeah. I follow that.
So he has a cushion, and I'm only saying he right now because he's the president. If it were Biden, Hillary, Kennedy, Nixon, Reagan, I'd be saying the same thing.
Right.
But here's your problem too, if you just look at it. And I see you have to think about this too. The stimulus was, we're going to send you $1,200 for your family of two, say, or whatever it was. I don't remember right now. But, we want you to take that money, because it's a stimulus check, right? And put it into the system. Go buy stuff. Go do stuff. But what happened at the very same time? The pandemic closed everything down.
Right.
So people couldn't use their stimulus checks to put money back in the economy and therefore generate tax and income. They couldn't do it. When this happened in 2008, the reason those stimulus checks, even though much smaller, the reason they worked was because nothing was closed down other than banks.
Are you talking about when they said that 900 to everybody?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that now. And everything was open.
Yeah, everything was open. So people were able to take that money and spend it, and the feds and the states collect the tax income. This time, they couldn't do that because when the first checks went out, most people were, I'm saying a lot of people were locked down.
Yeah.
And guess what's happening right now? They've got to decide this question, the Congress, the Senate, and representatives. They've got to decide this by the end of the month or everything runs out. End of this month or everything runs out. But what's going to be by the end of the month? We're going to be in even more higher numbers than we are now.
Mm-hmm.
And people like Abbott in Texas and Mr. Meaner knows this is thinking of closing down. Georgia's thinking of closing down. Florida's just a dumbass. North Carolina, with the Democratic governor, it moved too fast. That's why we had such a big spike. Yeah. We're on the mandatory mask, and talking about he's going to close bars and restaurants again. So the next checks that come out are going to come out while things are closed down again.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that again, who's not going to get tax income to sustain all this? the states and the feds. And in the long run, that's really going to hurt, because even if the final trials of the vaccines work, and 2 companies came out yesterday, and one of them said they plan to make 100 million doses by December. I'll have to see that to believe it, because it takes too long for a vaccine to be approved or marketed. But the human trials, the final human trials, the part of the studies hasn't even started yet. So these 2 companies are saying they're going to have this by the end of the year. I don't believe it. If it happens, I would fall over. And then they're going to produce 1 billion units next year. Don't look for a vaccine this year, because the most dangerous part of any study, especially with vaccines, is the one they're getting ready to enter into with human trials.
Yeah.
As far as when I say they have had human trials, but I mean numbers. Like they take a room full and expose them, give everybody the vaccine, and see who didn't get it.
Huh.
And that's just saying it simply. What they've done so far is just gave it to individuals. I think there's only maybe less than 100 in the country that signed up for it at different companies, just to see what would happen to your body if you got this. So that, don't count on the vaccine. And because we can't count on the vaccine probably till 2021 at the earliest, that means this thing's here to stay. Nothing's killing it. Nothing that we can put in our bodies right now is killing it. We only have things that control it, like dexamethasone and remdesivir. Hydroxychloroquine does nothing.
Hey, Kay Smalls.
There's Kay Smalls.
Oh, hey, Kay.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. I appreciate that.
I understand why they thought it would, because of the way it works at a certain point in the cell, and the RNA, and increases temperatures and one thing and another. I get why somebody thought, we can try this. We can try this. But when the treatment is going to kill you almost for sure.
Oh, I don't want to get no vaccine. That's for sure.
Do you get a flu shot?
I do.
Okay, that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah, but they can't force you to get a vaccine.
No, they can't force you to, unless you work certain jobs. Medical personnel, and sometimes people in the public are forced to keep their jobs. The Supreme Court upheld that with a nurse and a flu shot. And that was during the Obama time. So, but I think that, again, that gets back to personal responsibility. Carla, let's put it back on you.
That's what I said before. Like, I blame a lot of people for being irresponsible,
Right?
And not taking it seriously. And I was one of those people in March. I thought, oh, this is just going to be like one of those things.
A lot of people thought I was crazy. You wouldn't believe the comments and emails I got, because I started covering it in mid-February. But I think that about the vaccines, when and if they are successful, and when they start marketing, to take one, to not take one, almost is irresponsible. Because what if you were that one super spreader, Carla? You're a Twitter caller. So you could be that one super spreader who doesn't have symptoms but spreads it. Whereas if you had the vaccine, you couldn't and wouldn't. You wouldn't infect anybody intentionally with anything, Carla.
Yeah, I know.
So would you carry coronavirus around in your body?
Pardon me?
So would you carry coronavirus around in your body when you know you could infect everybody around you?
Oh, no.
There you go. But if you have the vaccine, you don't have to think of it. But again, I say, they don't know if the vaccines are going to work.
And the side effects. That's what's scaring me.
We don't know exactly. We don't know.
What if the side effects are just as bad as the virus? Like,
Right.
that's what I think about.
Right.
Because one year I got the flu shot, and I only got the flu shot this year or last year because my doctor wanted me to.
Yeah.
But one year I got the flu shot, I had a really bad reaction to it. So I don't know.
Yeah. I know.
I don't know if this,
I don't know
especially if it's not been tested.
Remember the Russian flu?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first years they started mass marketing the flu shot. And I got the flu shot, and I got the flu. Last year, I got my flu shot.
Ooh, Daniel says, I hope they make a vaccine soon. I had the coronavirus in April, hospitalized for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Wow. But, and I keep talking about those two drugs, dexamethasone and remdesivir, also convalescent plasma. And I'm going to say this, if you've had it, and confirmed by testing, or if you believe you had it, like Ms. Demeanor, I believe Ms. Demeanor probably had it. I believe K. Smalls probably.
Well, I'll tell you this, though, Marcia. I will say this. I got it back in November. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
I've never had anything like that before in my life. When I started telling people in December, January, February that I had it, was beginning of December, end of November.
Mm-hmm.
I told people, my family, they laughed at me.
Yeah.
That's in China. So when we go back to the reaction of President Trump, and remember, he was extremely lied to. The whole world was lied to by China. Okay.
By China.
This is the first time this past Friday, Mom and I were on the way to Houston to a doctor's appointment, which I don't know how is not, a choice thing or, elective. When, I have a niece that's in rehab right now, 36, just had a major stroke from the 5 aneurysms that she has in her carotids and in her brain. Her MRA was elective. She couldn't go in and get an MRA to see if any of those were about to rupture, and one did. That was elective, but I digress. On the way to Houston, Mom said, I really do think that you had this stuff. I said, oh, reckon?
I believe you probably did. I believe K. Smalls probably had it. I believe Starlight had it. I believe a lot of people had it because they've already documented at least one case in California that had it before we ever heard of it in any country other than China. I do believe China lied to us, but I don't believe China's the only country that lied to us. But even though they lied, their numbers in that one province were horrible. Mm-hmm. And even if they lied, that was coming. People knew it. And Trump did try to do something. You're right, to shut down air travel, but he also allowed people to get out of the country before he did it. Because if you go back, and it's documented, he said he enacted it, and they gave it a week.
You see your super chat, Carla?
What did it say?
Carla?
They stepped away.
Might have. Well, I see it, and I'll read it out. It says, thank you, Carla, Marcia, and Miss D. Lost a close family member early April. Whistleblowers are coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Let me tell you another scary story. And I promise you this could be my last one. But I love to talk COVID. Mm-hmm. There is a study, which is kind of rare that you start getting reports on studies because it's so quick. Most of it's observational theory. But in Spain, some university, I can't remember it off the top of my head, I've got the article, wanted to test wastewater to see if corona was in wastewater, see if it could be transmitted via wastewater. Mm-hmm. And that was their original theory or hypothesis that it could not. That was the hypothesis. But anyway, what they found, it was in the water. It was contagious. So they go back and they save wastewater samples like we do here in this country. And they go back and they find it in a couple others. Okay. They go all the way back to March 19, March 2019. And they find it. Now that's March 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a year ago. It was in the wastewater in Spain. The thing is, it had not, which it could have been from animals. The thing is, it had not made what they call the zoonotic jump from animal to human. That happened in China, supposedly. That happened in China. So I do believe it was here way before we knew it was here. SARS and MERS, the other two coronaviruses that the human body can fight, they were here a long time before they were actually found and diagnosed. But those are the three coronaviruses that affect humans the most. And of those, corona is even different than SARS and MERS. See, they thought when they first found, that's why corona has such a weird technical name, SARS-CoV-19, because they thought that it was SARS or just a mutation of SARS at first. And that, I don't know if y'all remember SARS, and I don't want to go into all that, but
Yeah.
SARS was a respiratory illness that came from Southeast Asia, and it's called respiratory distress. MERS is Middle Eastern respiratory distress. MERS was in the environment, jumped to camels, and then made the zoonotic jump from camels to humans. H1N1 was on a pig farm, chickens on a pig farm in Kansas. And it made a zoonotic jump from there to humans. And that's why we have H1N1, the flu, in us now. And somewhere along the line, COVID, which was what they thought was SARS at first, made a jump on the zoonotic jump to humans. But here's the other thing, what that kind of proves is that this wasn't made in a lab. So that conspiracy theory is kind of knocked away. There's several other reasons why it wasn't, but the fact that it was found in wastewater in March basically kind of proves that it was in Spain, in Barcelona, that it was not.
Wild Child wants to know about the sewage studies. I'm not sure what that
That's
is.
what I was just talking about.
I have no idea.
That's what I was just talking about, where they found the corona all the way back to March 2019. So they say that in March 2019, just say this, and this is a scary possibility. They found it in a wastewater sample. Then that's the earliest they found it. What if it had made the zoonotic jump and was infecting people like Misdemeanor or Starlight way before we knew it? That's why they can't say anymore. That if you were sick before December, you didn't have it. When we know, like people like Misdemeanor, Starlight, others, so many down here I can't mention, that I can't name them all, probably had it. It's probably been here. But it didn't become an epidemic, then a pandemic until, an epidemic in China and then a pandemic when it got out of China. And in that first week, I think it's almost 400,000 people got out of China and went around the world. 40,000 came here.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why so many got out of China was not because they were running. But you have to remember, they had just celebrated their New Year, which is their holiday, like our Christmas holidays. And people go home from all over the world to China. So they had extra population in China and in that province. And when they knew when Trump, he was one of the first ones to demand, travel be restricted. One of the probably the first handful to restrict travel in the world. And then he got out and got here. Because you have to remember another weird little thing. And I know these are crazy, but you got to think about these things. In Chicago, the first time in the world, that they learned it could be transmitted from person to person when one of the people had never been in China and never traveled. Happened in Chicago.
That's crazy.
So that means it was here, right? Yeah. The death certificate thing that so many people say, oh, proves, they want higher numbers than what they got. That would have never come out if somebody in power didn't know that it was already here and we didn't know it. Because they wanted medical examiners to go back and look at natural deaths and of certain diagnoses like heart, blood clots, respiratory, stroke. They wanted medical examiners to go back and look at those diagnoses to see if they fit the criteria for a COVID diagnosis. And they go back and look at tissue samples because many people died, and we got to know this, of COVID before we knew it. The government's trying to figure out when that started happening. So that's another fiction. And when I say government, I'm being all-encompassing.
Right.
I'm not pointing my hand at one person. I'm being all-encompassing of the government. So those are things you have to think about.
Well, I can't say much about it, but I just watch what, everybody, all the news, and I stopped watching the news because it freaks me out now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do anymore. Is this our new normal? Is this going to be our new normal?
It's going to be for a while. See, I never thought that it would die down in the summer like most. See, people convince themselves, and I'm, again, using people in general, that it was like the flu, because that's what many people were telling us, that it was like a flu, where you'd have flu-like symptoms and it'd go away. But flu has a season, from November till spring. When the heat comes, the normal quote-unquote flu goes down. And I swear to God, I believe that people were banking on that. People were banking on it going down. And I don't blame the president. Get ready to hear this in his demeanor. If I were sitting there, I had to decide, do I let my economy totally tank or not? I would not want to make that decision. That was a hell of a decision to make.
Sitting here thinking about it too, and watching the chat, another big problem that we have in this country is how many, with the technology and the science that we have in this country, shame on every president from this one back that we are not better prepared than we are today with what all we have in this country.
Well,
and knowing the things that are potential out there. I mean, we talked about it 100 years ago in school. We've studied other pandemics that we've had, the Black Plague, the Spanish flu, all, or Kansas flu. I'm going to start calling it that. But, we've studied these things. It's out there. The knowledge is out there. So why are we not better prepared? Why are we scrambling, having forward-build generators, having to figure out how to put 4 people on one vent?
Yeah.
I mean,
oh my God. Can you imagine that?
No,
that's like a nightmare, isn't it?
But we're not better prepared. Why are all of our, for the love of God, why are our antibiotics all manufactured in the very country that lied so desperately to us in the world about this very pandemic? And then the minute you say anything about them, they threaten to cut off your supply of antibiotics.
Yeah.
Well, and they're yours.
I know. And here's the thing too about that too. I mean, they make our personal protection equipment too.
Yeah.
And I think that, and that's a shame because they do control us that way.
The new thing that I heard the other day was that, listen, these masks are, not adequate. You should only wear them out for about an hour limit. And that's true. That's good. I got you.
Yeah.
But they say that the nurses and doctors need the N95s, and they do. But I used to work TB, okay? I know. I'm not going to send John Q. Citizen into a TB unit with a regular mask and me wear N95.
Well, that's why nobody's getting in but workers and patients.
But I'm talking about in the public. I mean, you're sending people out in the public to go and do this and that and the other with a little flimsy ass mask.
I couldn't agree more. We should have a stockpile, and people should be, these industries that need to be turning that out. Hey, Kay. Need to be turning that crap out right now, because this is not going to go anywhere. And we should not accept less than an N95, but we don't have a choice right now.
Well, and I'm hearing, and this is why I don't watch the news anymore, because oh my God, pick what's wrong and what's right. You can't from one minute to the next. There's so much crap out there that I was told that we sent like, I don't know how many masks over to China.
We did in Australia.
We accepted masks from China as well.
Exactly. That's what I was getting ready to say, Case Malls. We accept stuff from them. We don't know what the quality of it is.
If you buy from Wish, don't buy your N95 mask from Wish, please.
And that's just like the testing, the reagents needed for testing. The first batch that were made here in the United States were no good, so people were tested and there were false positives, false negatives. Then, hey, Mac 11, then guess what happened? We started running out of the reagents. So we go to get the reagents. The reagents come from India. What does India do?
Morning, Mac 11.
We're not selling any of our states.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're just not going to send our stuff to the United States.
Right.
So we had to basically start from scratch making reagents.
I can hear you, Mac.
You know, I wonder why all our countries don't get together as one cohesive force and work through this together, for crying out loud. We all have enough expertise and money, and you know what I mean?
I agree.
And you know, ladies, I could see where Misdemeanor and Marshall were both coming from, but I'm on the outside looking in, and you can't blame one president, because I don't think Obama could have done any better with this, and I don't think Biden, if Biden were to get elected in, I don't think he could do any better, because it's not one person, one president. It's not even the governors. It's like Carla said, it's everybody's individual choices and what they do and what they don't do. I'm here up in Canada freaked out because we have so many Florida license plates. It's got me. It's got us. And you know what they're doing? They're saying that they own land, and they're coming in through small border crossings, and so they can't check the land, and they give them fake numbers. They're supposed to quarantine for 2 weeks, and listen, our border's closed to every country, not just the United States, because we're not ready yet. We're still in stage 2 of coming out, you know, and we're good into 3 and whatever, but we planked the curve. But our numbers are starting to jump right back up again. So we're frightened.
Well, and you know, the big fear has been the second wave. Of course, here we're still in the first wave. But Beijing, in China, in Beijing, which is bigger than Wuhan, that province, Wuhan, the city, had like 11 million people.
Yeah.
Beijing has almost 22 million people. And Beijing closed down the schools, and they're closing down factories. They closed Disneyland again. Why? Because they're having a massive outbreak in Beijing.
I have a question for you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, they're all living in the United States. What do you do with somebody who refuses to wear a mask and starts spitting on everything? We've had tourists doing that, and we're like, oh my God, run!
Well, here in the United States, depending on what the law is in your county or your state, rather,
we're finding people, we're finding them, we're putting them in jail, they're being escorted back to the border. There's over 80,000 tourists in Canada right now, though. We're refusing them entry again for 5 years.
Well, those 4 kids I was telling y'all about earlier, they were arrested, but guess what? They didn't want to put them in jail because they have COVID in the jail.
Yep.
I know, they're letting prisoners.
And then you would be exposing 4 teenagers to COVID. So they arrested them and they gave them all tickets.
We're having the same problem here with Mexico. Remember the wall?
Are you getting a lot of Yeah.
That's
Here's something
where
funny.
that's where they're saying our mutation is coming from, Mexico.
Here's something funny. You know, we had, well, Mexicans coming up here to help the farmers, and they got sick up here. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And it made national news. It's like, what? I thought they were all really, like, I mean, there's over 300,000 cases in Mexico. Do you guys ever go to the channel
Yeah.
on YouTube? Baby, you don't want to hear about it. It's called Roy Lab Stats. And
Oh yeah.
it's a
I
great
use them a
channel.
lot. Yeah.
Yep. And it shows the numbers every day. And listen, I've got more family in the U.S. than Canada, and I've got a lot of friends as well in the U.S. And I'm worried for you guys because it's such a large population for one, even small county, for sheriffs or whatever to control. Where do you begin? What do you guys think? Where do you begin to start help planking your curve?
Well, the numbers need to quit being fudged for one. Did you all hear what I said on my live last night?
I
was
missed
listening,
part of
honey.
it, Kay, because my internet went out. What did you say?
Sorry, I'm yawning. I'm tired. I gotta go to sleep. So my husband knows this guy, and him and his friend went and waited in line forever. The line was very long just to get tested, right? They had already filled out the paperwork. I guess just the basic information, right? Name,
Yeah.
address, phone number, what have you. Well, they ended up leaving. They turned in the paperwork, I guess, and they ended up leaving because it took so long. Well, a couple days later, they get something in the mail, both of them, saying they were positive, and they never even got tested.
I'd like to see that.
That's weird.
I think that I'd like to see that because that should be public. But I
Yeah.
think
Well,
that
my
your
husband
numbers
went
are
back to
being
look at
fudged.
it on Facebook, and he could not find it. And I said, "You don't remember who posted that? What friend?" He's like,
Yeah.
"Well, it's gone. You know, I don't." I'm like, "Oh," I said. So I went to log on to Facebook, and I'm locked out. I haven't
I
even
heard
logged
that
on to
part,
Facebook in
Kay.
a month.
What were you doing to get locked out, girl?
I don't know.
Oh my, Kay is bad.
It's a bad little girl.
I haven't done nothing. I just went to log in. It says your account's temporarily locked.
I do
Wow.
believe
And I-
indeed you must have had something in there they didn't like because they're trying to.
I thought they were locking a
I
lot
don't
of
ever
accounts
post
a
on
while
Facebook
ago
though. I don't get on
for
there.
political reasons.
Okay, Smalls, if you put up some kind of conspiracy thing.
No, I don't. I don't.
Well-
I don't even get on there. I just go on there to look up stuff sometimes.
I read
And like I said,
something.
it's been over a month since I've been on there.
Kay, I read something that if your account is inactive, they tend to lock them down now for a
Oh,
while.
maybe that's what it is.
I
then,
was
'cause
locked
I
out of
never
mine.
get on there.
I was locked out of mine too, so
Okay.
that's why I was laughing about you because I have weird theories too on something. But I do think that the numbers are being jerry-rigged. However, I believe they are being rigged downward, not upward. So
Well, they're being rigged some way, you know. It's
yeah, I
Well,
don't. I remember knowing for a fact, just common logical sense, on them being able to do math and extrapolate numbers and statistics, that what they were saying out of China was wrong. And the
Oh,
same
yeah.
way with Iran, you know, Iran probably literally had close to 1 million deaths, but I think they're only saying 8,000.
I think the country that had the worst and most accurate numbers, in my opinion, was Turkey.
Turkey and Italy.
Yeah,
Italy has
Italy, that's what I meant. Italy.
They were
I'm
doing.
sorry.
They were trading with China, with Wuhan directly, Italy, and that's why they got so many cases so
Yeah.
quickly.
And Italy is probably the best one. You know, they had thought, and it still is a good one, South Korea, because what South Korea literally was doing was testing every person they could. They were at train stations doing lobotomy checks on people as they got off trains. And as they got on trains, because that's mass transportation there. They were literally doing checks on everybody. And they basically got it down to zero. But now you've got 2 military bases, U.S. Marine bases in South Korea, who are on lockdown because they have so many hundreds of cases.
Well, the only good thing out now is the last case study that was done is they have now confirmed that if you are symptomatic, which not showing any symptoms, you are not contagious. And that technically goes with any virus, right? No fever, not contagious, right?
No,
So
no.
basically, if you don't have symptoms, you're not contagious.
Wait
And
now.
who goes out
No.
when they have a fever
Wait.
anyways, if they're that sick? You don't want to go
I want to
nowhere.
see that. I want to read that study because contrary to that, the case when it first hit France,
Hmm.
they were out. There was a family, and one of the people had been to traveled to China, came back. They were there a few weeks. Nobody was sick, and then bam, suddenly, I think it was a crowd of them got sick, and 7 died. But the only person that had been exposed to it at the time was the one that went to China, and he didn't have a single symptom. There are super spreaders of it.
Right,
That
and who
could be
knows?
asymptomatic.
That could have been just like the last case study where the strain was very low. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? I mean, how
right.
many strains of this thing do we have now?
We have no clue.
Exactly.
And the fact that they
Or
know it was in sewer water in March of 19.
You remember what I told you on the phone, Marcia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I told Marcia that way back before it even, I mean, and I did my research and I was like shocked. You know, because I just asked God, I was like, I need confirmation. Where is this coming from?
Yeah. He said,
And
well,
I heard it said our water supply was contaminated. And I was like shocked. And then I looked it up, and sure enough, the corona/SARS virus actually can live in wastewater.
Yeah. We have a mountain reservoir and we treat it with our own like bleach
Hmm.
every so often, and we've covered it over. Like we have to be really careful because, we don't have somebody testing it, like all the time. And I boil it down here, like especially when it gets lower, like in the summer.
yeah.
Right.
I
But
got a good one for you. We're coming up on, well, we're in hurricane season, but it doesn't get bad here until like September,
that'll
late
spread
August,
it
September.
around.
Tropical storms. If we get a tropical storm in here,
Yeah.
there are 4
Yeah.
houses on our street that flood, mine is one of them. It's flooded 5 times. It floods from the sewer.
Oh shoot. No.
Okay.
It's a nightmare.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I didn't
We
even know
moved.
you would say that, but I'm guessing when you said flooding, I thought, oh no.
Yep.
That's
And I've been
bad.
to City Hall. I've
Yeah.
screamed. I've called the mayor every name I can think to call her.
Say, you think the city will help?
No, they don't give a damn.
No.
They don't.
Is
You do,
it-
though.
is
There's
it-
nothing you can do.
Is it
Well,
just
no,
your
there
basement?
is stuff that we can do.
Personal
There was a subdivision built behind me that attaches to my subdivision.
Uh-huh.
When they built that subdivision, they raised the level of the ground.
Ah, okay.
That is illegal. They should have never been able to do that. I wasn't living here at the time, or I would have been kind of
Right.
ugly.
Mm.
And ever since then, we flooded. So I'm
Wow, oh my God.
at some point going to get the biggest amount of dirt I can find. Also, my husband raises houses for a living, and I'm on a
Oh.
slab, but down here they can raise the slab. So if we have to
So-
jack this puppy up 2 feet, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Is
And
it
everybody
your
around us can
basement?
flood. No,
Is
we
it
don't
your
have basements. We don't have
Damn.
basements.
Labs. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
have-
below sea level.
Oh, guess what? We have a basement, and Dumb and Dumber dug our basement 3 feet below sea level at low tide. Go figure. We
Huh.
used to flood all the time. It's like
Mm.
you really thought of them a lot when you were shop vacuuming,
Mhm.
again. And when we had the big industrial one.
lot.
Oh my God! Like if they'd only looked to their left, they would have been able to see. Oh, we went down to a lower place of yeah, no. So what we need to do is pour more basement floor and put our house up higher. God, it'll be
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
clouds. But
What scares me, misdemeanor, anybody living near the coast,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, y'all, is hurricane season.
Hmm.
Because, okay, right now you've got 98% of your ICU beds in Miami-Dade. And I think almost all of Florida is running at 90% of ICU beds. You got patients in ERs in Florida, in Texas. And we all know that watch those storms, that one could brew up tonight and hit somewhere tomorrow.
God, true.
And where are people going to go?
Well, I got an even better question. I've moved back here after 10 years of being gone. And since then, we've had some major hurricanes hit here.
Yeah,
We
you have.
also have Louisiana, Lake Charles, right across the
Yeah.
Sabine River, that is flourishing because of gambling. I have Houston to the west of me, which is flourishing because it's Houston. Okay. So what happened to my economy here in my town? It's non-existent.
Right.
I mean, we're a poor little town where we used to be happening.
Right.
And when I first came down here and thought, well, I'll just go back to work as a nurse before I've now gone into retirement,
Yeah.
a lot because of COVID. But I went and applied at a little stroke rehab kind of thing inside the hospital. And the director of nursing looked at me and said, now you have to understand, if our patients here have a stroke, we have to ship them out to Houston. I said, excuse me? She said, right. I'm like, we're attached to the hospital. She said, right, but we don't have any neurosurgeons or neurologists on call. I said, you've got to be shitting me. They've got to go an hour and a half to the west if they're actively having a stroke.
Or a heart
Lose
attack.
that whole hour.
I mean,
Where you could
That's
say,
when I said, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I can't.
yeah.
I can't travel like I used to could. I'm not. No, I'm not doing this. So
I think about the storms. I think about the natural disasters. And I used to say when I first started doing these that you had the pandemic, then you had the political infrastructure, then you had the healthcare infrastructure, the economic infrastructure, and the societal and infrastructure. And it was all going to eventually collapse. And we have got to not let that happen. But
I just think Jesus needs to come back and come get me. I'm tired of this crap.
Amen.
Amen.
Yep. Here's a good channel for anybody that's interested. Dr. Mike Hansen. He's from the United States. He's an immunologist and respiratologist. He does lives very frequently with two other specialists, and you find him quite comforting. He's glad to answer questions.
Yeah, I listen to him a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, they do like a while back he was giving results of autopsies on people who had passed away, and how it's so important that they should do more because they're learning every time they do one, which I get. And I mean, everybody's turning kind of green in the chat.
But it's true. It's true.
But they are. Yeah.
But I'm sorry, May.
No, I said.
Hey
it's
guys,
true that
I love you guys, but I'm gonna have to go. I gotta get
Bye,
some
Kay.
sleep.
Love you, Case Mom.
All right, love you too.
Love you, Kay.
Bye guys. Love
Bye.
y'all. Bye.
Bye. That's like the medical examiners I was talking about earlier, where people thought it. Some people adopted a conspiratorial look at it, asking medical examiners to reevaluate causes of deaths and to look at and see if certain criteria were met. And some of that criteria includes things because this virus does something very odd. It causes your blood to clot.
Yeah.
And Ebola did the opposite.
Yeah.
Ebola causes your
Rerunning.
blood to not clot.
Yep. Which is just as bad.
Yeah.
On the other end.
And if you're a nurse, the nurses all know what DIC looks like. And Ebola is like DIC on steroids.
Yeah.
So, but this one causes. So, what they wanted medical examiners around the country to do was to look at a case like, say, you had a 33-year-old woman or man who came in and had a heart attack. They would probably look at their hearts and they'd say, "Oh well, there was no plaque there. There's a blood clot there. Okay, it was a freak because you can develop a blood clot anywhere in your body, and it traveled to your lungs or heart. But that 33-year-old maybe has no other risk factors for having developed a blood clot. So they look at that, and then they look at the lungs, the CT scans or whatever they had of lungs and of other parts of the body. And if they can find the stereotypical with COVID blood clots, because they can say this is a COVID case just based on the blood clot. in a healthy, otherwise healthy 33-year-old. And guess what? That person needs to be added to COVID, because you don't look at a set of lungs in a 33-year-old and see thousands of clots.
You know,
COVID,
we've seen viruses for many years from Asia. You know, when they've been progressively getting worse. This is not the end of viruses from Asia.
God, no.
So I guess it's kind of like a life lesson for everybody, like stock up on toilet paper, buy stocks in toilet paper.
Well, it's a life lesson for the country. Like, like
for each of us.
saying, why weren't we better prepared? And
Well,
that's every president before now. I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, I think I'll buy stocks for sure. But seriously though, masks and things like that, things that we, you know what I mean, if we've been thinking right, like China has that part right. They've been wearing masks for how many years? Of course, they're so crowded there, but
yeah,
still.
and the pollution.
Yep.
And the other thing I was going to say, as far as being prepared, and I know Ms. Demeanor's not going to like this, but she can look it up. She'll see it. There was an office for, I can't remember the technical name of it. I mean, the official name of it, but it was for pandemic observation and controls in the White House that Obama put into place because of H1N1 and then Ebola. And these people monitored around the world things that were happening, like Ebola, because God knows we don't want that here, right? And the first week that President Trump was in office, he wrote an executive order to disband that office.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Also, the CDC, and I saw and it's online because that's where I saw it, had offered the transition team to come and to let them explain possible epidemics, outbreaks around the world, not of this, around the world. And they were never taken up on that.
Why do you think
people like Mark Levine or Levin, I know y'all know, I know that Brian probably knows him, who yesterday went on Twitter and Facebook day before with a bottle saying this is proof that Corona had been around longer because President Obama had this medicine. It was filled at the U.S. Capitol, and it's his hydroxychloroquine prescription. All you have to do is look at the bottle number 1, and you see it's formaldehyde, which is a drug that people that on short notice are going into a malaria-prone area can take. I think you start like 2 days before while you're there, and then 2 days after.
But I have a question, Marsha.
Hydroxychloroquine. I'm saying this because this is
Thank you, Nanya.
Misinformation.
Welcome to the Coffee Coalition.
But Marsha, I have a question about that. Isn't hydroxychloroquine to help treat the symptoms, whereas quinine, the actual drug, much better to possibly treat COVID?
Well, neither one of them are treatments for COVID now. But no.
I thought quinine was a better
of
the two.
No, neither one of them are now. Yeah, the FDA has said neither one of them. The side effects are so much worse that outweigh the benefits. And hydroxychloroquine did nothing but cause side effects. And I know that there are people, Lancey said it, and I want to see these people because they keep saying, oh, well, I've been taking it and I haven't got it. Okay. Or I had it and I took it and it cured me. I don't know if y'all remember. Do y'all remember the couple where the woman claimed that she was so sick with COVID and she sent her husband out in the middle of the night to a CVS to get a prescription filled for hydroxychloroquine? Y'all remember that? And the president touted their story and the husband confirmed it, and then the woman died. She never had COVID. She died from side effects of the hydroxychloroquine.
Wow.
Then in one more, and then in I think it's New Jersey or Connecticut, somewhere up there, where this isn't supposed to be happening, like Ms. Demeanor says, other people are doing it too. There is a nursing home with veterans, a veterans nursing home, and they automatically put every veteran on hydroxychloroquine, and the death numbers are Horrifying.
Heart attacks are the worst.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Carla wants wine. That can't be good. Sorry, Carla.
What's that?
You wrote in chat. I want a glass of wine.
Yeah. No, someone was saying
Really,
they wanted a
girl?
beer. I said I'd rather have a glass of wine.
Well,
No.
I didn't mean to take over your panel. I didn't mean to take over.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, if
Brian,
you're giving good information, though, Martha.
Yeah.
Brian, I wanted to say hello to you. It's been ages since I barely ever chat, and I barely ever see you. So, yeah, it's nice to see.
I appreciate it. I come over here just about every morning where it's safe.
I usually catch the replays.
we keep them safe and out of trouble.
Yeah, they whip me into shape.
Well, we can only do so much. Come on.
Yeah.
Nice to see you anyway, Brian.
I appreciate you, Max.
You're very much misunderstood. That's all I'm saying. You ever
I agree.
ask me what I mean?
Yeah.
It's funny, but when you're watching and you listen, like if there are sides, which I really don't think there, but if there, you look at everything and you realize, hold on a minute, you're not reading this guy right at all. Sorry, but you're not.
Well, compared to the things that I've been accused of and the things that we see now, we can see who's really got the problem.
Well, apparently I'm a devil incarnate, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Oh my
Tiffany
God.
Marie said.
I didn't know this.
Tiffany Marie said I was the devil incarnate.
Oh, wow. Just finding that out, man.
That's okay.
I think people are a lot of people on here are misunderstood, and I think your average sub is just sick and tired of it.
Yeah, we are.
Just too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I am. That's why a lot of times I don't go in a lot of chats because it's just too much.
I still can't buy cucumbers until your fault, Carla.
I know. I think about it all the time.
We used to love them, but no, not really. But it was kind of funny, and I thought, I don't know if I can look at a cucumber right now anymore.
Well, you know whose fault that is? That's M's fault.
That's
It's
M.
about that whole thing. Did you know you can milk cucumbers? Oh my God, that started up. I think it started trending after that.
I'm gonna grab that clip of M's doing that, put some porn music to it, and see how that works out.
How about,
missed that one.
You remember the night M's talked about bobs? What a bob was? She
Oh
was
my God.
be remembered for
God.
that. Cucumbers and bobs.
But you know
Hey,
what?
Molly.
YouTube is better if it's more about laughing. This negativity is the pits, really. I mean,
the drama.
I don't know. It's better for everybody if we all laugh versus get upset.
We try to get the laughing on going on
Oh
here
my
in the
God,
morning.
cucumbers for weeks.
I know.
But
we couldn't even we would just every time we would talk about every time I had someone on my channel, we'd talk about milking cucumbers. That's really started that trending.
It's all her fault. And she looks so innocent.
Oh yeah, don't let that fool you. Don't let that fool you.
It was so funny.
Yes, did you learn that in high school, Mac, that you had to be careful of those sweet, innocent little girls? I know Brian did.
I know, she looks like a school teacher, an Avon lady. Whoa, don't let that fool you.
Or the sexy librarian, you can just see her.
Yeah, the glasses come off there.
Exactly. And she goes up with hair, and that's it. She was I'm sure a porn star in her last life. And I swear to God.
Oh, I laughed at you ladies on Saturday when you were having the live and it was so hot. I think all of North America. And I was typing in the craziest things like, oh my God, the dog is so hot, we have to run him around the pen. It was just hilarious.
Now, see, this is the kind of troll names I like. M's milked cucumbers. That's cute. I've been missing you all so very, very much.
That was like somebody had made one, White Sharky's Home for Delinquent Children or something.
Oh right. I saw that one.
Loved it.
I think we need to laugh at ourselves more and stop taking ourselves so seriously sometimes. Now, when it's mean, I understand it. You know, I don't want any part of the meanness.
No.
When it's funny, I'm okay with that. I am.
I'm going to step down. You know, Misdemeanor's probably ready to pull the chair out from under me.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I hate that everybody thinks that about me, and
No,
it's probably my own fault. But you
they
know,
can't pick on you. You know.
I know
I
that.
can see you're both coming from actually similar directions, but from a different angle of the same direction. You know what I mean?
You know that when I early on, and you know, there was political talk in the chat, whatever. When I first started with Carla, and somebody made a comment under one of the lives or the videos or whatever that I was a little bit too political, and I really appreciate constructive criticism, honestly.
Yeah.
And I reflected on that and thought, you know what? Your voice is, you may be right all day long, whatever, but you can't always be the only one right.
Right.
And sometimes, you know, what kind of world would it be if it was only Misdemeanor's opinion?
Like, I do
That's
feel
why we have chocolate and vanilla ice cream.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to be.
They're good mixed together.
Yeah.
Or as my kids used to say, Napoleon ice cream.
Napoleon.
Whatever the hell that is.
Into the world I live in. I'm always right. I'm always wrong.
Yeah. We have to have a little bit of strawberry for Napoleon.
She always says, "Yeah, I've been wrong, but you know."
Yeah. I divorced it.
Yeah,
only once,
it.
and I divorced it.
Only
Who
once.
else would think of having a stream on a hot day? And everybody was cracking up in the chat. It was hilarious. I thought it was so funny. And then you guys were reading the comments and cracking up, and we were all reading the chat.
That's when we have the most fun is when we're reading the comments sometimes.
Impromptu.
Marcia, I'm glad you came up. I know you want to jump down and get some.
Yeah, Marcia, thank you so much for coming up. Very
You take care, Marcia.
And I really do love and appreciate you for real.
Yeah, we love
appreciate y'all too. I really do.
You just rest and listen to us. We'll
I'm gonna lay back and listen to you.
We'll make fools out of ourselves like we do every other day.
No, I know you. You will be calling me a twat Twitter as soon as you know I'm gone.
Twat Twitter.
Enjoy your good day.
Talk to you, sweetie.
Enjoy your good day, Mama Shark.
Yeah, you enjoy your day, Marcia.
I love y'all.
Marcia.
Love you too.
Marcia.
Thank you.
Let's send some prayers up to Marcia. Hopefully she's feeling better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's always praying for everybody else.
She has a good heart. And some people have been less than kind, and I'm not going to mention any names or look at anyone in particular. Oh yeah.
She's one of my favorites, Mama Shark.
Yeah.
I
She's fair.
She loves people, and that's right. She loves everybody.
Yeah, she does.
And she's grounded. Like I say, for me, I like to go and hear what everybody has to say about the same argument topic, and then I make my own mind up. And Marcia's very well grounded.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Carrie.
You know, that's my feeling anyway.
She listens to other people's opinions. She has her own opinion, like Misdemeanor.
Yeah.
She has her own opinion, and she's sticking by her own opinion, and that's fine. We can't all have the same opinion. If we have the same opinion,
it's nice to see an adult conversation happen where there's opposing sides.
Where you're not screaming and yelling and calling each other names. Yeah.
Politics can bring out the worst in people, though. Sometimes.
Well, are we opposing sides right here on the panel? Because I'm not a side. I kind of.
Well, as far as when it started, I think that Misdemeanor and Marcia don't share the same beliefs on things.
No, not at all.
But that's okay because it was an adult conversation. I thought it sounded to me like Misdemeanor was getting a little annoyed.
I know, me too.
Why? Because I was quiet, or because I didn't say something wrong?
No. At the very beginning.
Yeah, at the very beginning.
Sounded annoyed.
And then once you listen, Marcia's able to get her point across without making someone else feel like they're wrong.
Well, I apologize if anybody thought that I was angry.
No.
I think I'm just as frustrated as any other red-blooded American or anybody around the world at this point.
Right.
Because it's very frustrating. Well, I mean, personally speaking, it's hotter than blazes here, which makes everybody cranky. And we're talking 115 degrees heat.
Right. That could have been.
We are out of jobs. We are out of money.
No, you
We're struggling
aren't.
to make ends meet day to day, eating ramen noodles. I'm not even joking. Okay.
What?
And it's not all about COVID. It's not all about, it is just what the world is right now. I think I'm as frustrated as anyone else. I'm a very blunt, to the point kind of person. I don't see any point in dancing around an issue or a topic. I tend to say what I feel, but that doesn't mean that I'm right and everyone else is wrong. I voice my opinion, and I apologize if that
Oh,
makes
Marcia,
anyone
you're
nervous
okay.
No.
or upset.
You could have been frustrated about all kinds of different things.
Everybody's frustrated with this. I wish it would.
Yeah.
I can't visit my kids because there's no way I'm getting in a freaking plane right now. But,
No.
Yeah.
I want this
wouldn't.
to be over with.
They sent us a notice, for my son, that they were going to open up the prisons on July 26th. We haven't seen him since March. And they sent a notice that we were going to get the visits back, and then 3 days later they said, never mind.
No.
Yeah,
But,
and there are, I've got loved ones and family members who are in the hospital that,
yeah, you can't visit them.
You can't visit them.
You can't visit them. They're not getting the testing that they need. They're not getting the care that they need, and they have life and death situations, and I can't do anything to fix it. And for me, that's very frustrating. I wouldn't even know how to begin to fix it, and that's frustrating.
And
I
then
so much of it.
And instead of working together, I think a lot of us are working, not working together, and that's what's frustrating for me, the average person that doesn't know a lot about all this stuff or politics. But I think we're working against each other in most cases, and that's frustrating.
Yeah.
There's people that are just irresponsible. That's why I said I blame a lot of people for just being irresponsible.
Yeah.
Oh, Eagle says
I don't blame everything on the government. I blame some on the government, but I blame a lot of people
individual
for being
responsibility.
just plain stupid.
Yeah.
Eagle says she's pissed about something right now.
Uh-oh. Come on up, Eagle.
Yeah.
Take my dog. Take my puppy. You won't be pissed for long, girl. You won't know what ended up.
Subs talk about it, Dave. Oh, she's waiting on the unemployment. Yeah, some people didn't
Oh.
Yeah, when you're sitting there broke and the government says, hey, we'll help you, and then they make you wait, it's enough to piss you off.
Well, I see it as not being fair to everybody, because I know some people that aren't getting anything, and some people that are getting things that they shouldn't. I think shouldn't be getting it. Wow.
Like should the stimulus check, just out of curiosity, the American stimulus check, do you think billionaires should have gotten that? Apparently everybody did, but
dead people got it. Dead people.
We didn't.
Oh, wow. There you go.
We didn't. My
husband
and I did.
Dead people did.
You didn't qualify?
Not that we didn't even try, because like my husband said, his job never changed for us. And he's thinking to himself, why should we take money that we don't need if other people need it?
Well, that's good. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's just like I was saying when they sent us we got these cards in the mail, one for Jada and one for Kylie. We didn't know what it was, and so we called the number and looked it up, and there's $300 on both of those cards for the school lunches thing.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, well, I've been working through all this, and we don't really need it.
Right.
But people were telling me, hey, if they send it to you, use it.
They could.
But we still have most all of it. I think we're going to do some stuff for other people that could use that. I felt guilty for the handout. But at the same time, I'm thinking, well, if they're going to give it to you, then we qualify for it. But we're going to do something with it, and we're going to give it something, pass it out to someone else, because we don't really need it.
We didn't try for it because my husband's job never changed. He was one of the 4 workers in his office that had to work, so his salary never changed. So why even we didn't even look into it.
Yeah.
Not at all. So.
Yeah, my job hasn't changed. So.
And I'm not bragging about that, but why would you want to take money if someone else needs it? Yeah. Why would you want to take that away from that person? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can I ask you all just a general question? I find like, I mean, I find I'm getting triggered easier just listening to things, but is there more going into people's personal life now, or is it just me?
Oh, there's plenty.
There's way more
It's
now.
crazy.
Way more and more and more. And the thing of it is, these people that are going in their personal lives, they're coming on YouTube and saying, "We did this," and people are like,
And they're
"Oh,
proud of
right,
it. Yeah, exactly.
good job." And I've been
Well-
crucified for less. They accuse me of going real life on people, which I'm.
Well, here's how bad it's gotten. I was totally doxxed. They used a picture of my dead mother and my 3-year-old granddaughter.
They're still
They were
going around
going
doing that,
along
Carla.
in so many chats that I couldn't even keep up. I just logged off. It was like I couldn't keep up with it.
By the
And-
way, those accounts are still going around of you.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the clones and everything else is just so stupid.
Yeah, and basically the people that are doing it have been outed, and people are still, "Hi, how you
Oh
doing? Come
yeah,
on in.
and love bombing them. I
Come
know.
on up on my panel."
And I'm in such shock. I'm not fast on the screenshots, but maybe I should be. I mean, I'm watching. I'm thinking, did I just see that? Yeah. But everybody's not everybody. A lot of people are being doxxed.
Mhm.
Which, I mean, okay, but why? Why is it gone on the rise? Or is it
Well,
just
here,
me?
Because
Oh, why?
people are making it acceptable.
Yep,
Big channels are
they're being
making
rewarded for it. So
Full On Drama has no business on anyone's panel anywhere.
nope.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I mean, I'm worried. Like, I heard Hello Starlight defending herself, and I thought, oh boy.
And she did very well. At
She
first,
needed to defend herself, but I thought, what ramifications are going to happen because she defended herself? Yeah, I applaud her for doing so, and I thought, oh Lord.
well, I'm gonna tell you what. If she suffers some kind of ramifications for defending herself, I have all of Full On Drama's information, and you can hit me in my email.
Right.
And maybe it's different in Canada. Like when I actively taught, I was a mandated reporter, but only in educational buildings as it pertained to my position, not out in the world.
Yep.
And if actually there was a big stopgap there, if I had the audacity to think I should be reporting somebody when I'm out in a mall on the weekend or something, and it turned out to be false, I would get fined and or put in jail.
Yeah, that's what it should be. If you're a mandated reporter and you make the report, and people come out and check on that report and they find out you were wrong, they should remove your mandated reporting.
You really had to know your facts and make sure that what you were doing was for, you know what I mean? You just couldn't pick up a phone, and you still can't hear.
You can't base a phone call on a 5-minute clip.
Like,
even as a mandated reporter, see, because I used to work in chemical dependency, you have to do an assessment of the whole situation. You have to do your research before you make that call.
Oh, I've seen your girls on your lives, Brian, for ages, for crying out loud. I remember I was watching you when you were uploading your Darlie Routier videos. That's a long time ago. And those little girls are treated like silk. I mean, you love them.
I had tons of great videos with my kids, right? They're very positive.
Oh my God. Then they're so cute.
And then Full On Drama gets mad at me because I boot her out of a chat, and she takes one statement and said, "Oh, I'm worried about the kids. I'm worried about no, you were worried because I booted you out of my chat. You got embarrassed and you used CPS as a tool to exact revenge on me. That's what you did."
So there's no laws governing that?
Ems.
There is. There is. You just have to wait for the schools to open back up, Renee.
Oh, so there are laws that could keep people from calling on you illegally.
Well, yeah, there are.
Cyber crimes limit.
You
I
have
a cyber crimes unit in my city where I live. They concentrate just on crimes that are from the internet crimes.
With the CPS, you have to be able to prove that the person called to exact revenge.
That's exactly what they do.
You have to prove that they had an agenda. You have to prove.
Yeah,
Well,
they
it's
keep
really hard.
saying they did it for your own good.
Right.
You have to prove that they did it because they were
And
malicious.
then you can get them for traumatizing your child, harassing you, all kinds of different stuff.
See
Correct.
that when the laws came around that we should report if we see something, we also were told
I will, Becky.
what were the lists of things that we would notice before we could even make a report, and it was extensive, and it had to be over a long period of time, and we really had to know what we were talking about, not just poof, pick up the phone, because you knew the ramifications if you were wrong.
Right.
Well, that's the bottom line. Is Full On Drama stands behind her calling CPS on me, but Full On Drama, you were wrong according to the professionals.
Correct.
Because they did an extensive check on us. They did the research with CPS.
But here's the thing, Brian. You have to prove they did it because they thought you have to prove that they knew that your children were okay.
Mm-hmm.
That they just did it because they didn't like you.
I could do that with Full On Drama and with Dumpy Dump right now. I'm waiting for the schools to open back up.
Now, why would that be? I'm sorry if I sound stupid on this, but I don't know the legalities down there.
Say it again.
Why are you waiting for the schools to open up? Will they be able to help you, Brian?
Well, yeah, because Full On Drama works in the school system as a counselor.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like for her employers to know what she does on YouTube, and I have the right to do that.
Wow. What are you saying, Wild Child? Well, Full On Drama was humiliated by Solange last night. What are you going to do? Ash 274 and Camilla were nice on her panel. It is what it is. Sucks.
Well, Ash 274 is nice to everybody. Ash went up on Full On Drama's panel.
Ash is funny.
Person, Wild Child, is saying. I don't know. Like I said, I went to bed last night.
Well, no,
I'm not getting into this bullshit anymore.
Ems is telling me not to do that, but Ems,
not to do what?
Full On Drama took part of contacting my employer about things that I wasn't doing. All right, so I think that in order to protect the next family from being victimized by Full On Drama, that her job needs to know that she has no place counseling children. That's my opinion. And when they open back up and they go back to work, I am going to talk to her employer.
But, Full On Drama, you're missing the bigger picture with Brian because, he's easy to get along with. And if you don't have any issues with him, he doesn't have any issues with you. He doesn't start stuff just for starting stuff. No. You have to really whip him up good.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, he'll have your back. If you treat him right, you don't sit there on a panel and humiliate him and browbeat him and scream and yell at him. He will treat you right. He'll treat you the same way you treat him.
I do remember that video that was put out where this guy told my employment, told how to get a hold of my employment, and I remember Full On Drama in that chat cheering it on.
Oh my God.
Yep. So, Ems, I understand what you're saying, but I understand that, but I feel that with Full On Drama being running around here threatening CPS and calling CPS on people, I think that her employer needs to know that because she works with children and she's dangerous. Imagine what kind of stuff she's putting in these kids' head when her own child is on here going, "Mom, stop acting this way on YouTube. Stop acting this way." I'm concerned. That's a legitimate concern because we've heard it from the child. That's not a Full On Drama's making videos of me and I'm mad, so I'll call CPS. No, it's a legitimate concern. I wouldn't call CPS on her. I wouldn't do that. But is there a reason? I mean, I've got more reason to than she did on me. But I wouldn't do that. I want 16 deaths. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But can you imagine someone like Full On Drama working with your child?
No, that's what she does. She works with children.
Yes, she's a counselor. She's a school counselor. She said that before too, so it's not like I'm telling on her. She has said that she's worked with children. So.
Well,
Can you imagine
she always says that she was worried about your children. So.
Mhm. Well, my kid's not on here going, Mom, you need to stay off YouTube. And we haven't confirmed from Randy, that her child has been doing that. That's a legitimate concern. It's hurting her child.
Well, I don't know. People are encouraging them. I don't know what to say. If people are encouraging them. I've had them blocked. They're staying blocked. I mean, when I find out it's them, I block them because they got like a gazillion freaking troll names. So as soon as I find out it's them, they're blocked. So I have nothing to say to them, nor do I want to.
Before I get down, I want to share one thing with you guys.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
How do I put my... Okay. How do I turn... Oh. I'm not sure how to turn my camera on.
At the very bottom, there's a camera, a mic, and then you turn the
right.
You click on the camera icon.
Oh, right. So smart. There you go. Can you see him?
Is that your pup? Wait, I can't see. I thought I saw a puppy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Here he is.
See?
Can you see him now?
Oh,
Hey,
look at that. Is that like a collie?
It's a miniature collie. It's a Sheltie. And yesterday, one funny story. I had him in the yard, and I was just turning the camera on, and he was jumping up into the lens of the camera. I didn't need to focus. I didn't even see him doing that. Oh my God, my nerves.
Adorable.
Absolutely,
so beautiful.
Absolutely, Carrie. I'm reading Oak Lancey's and Carrie's comment. Yes, legal. Yes, I understand that. I understand that. See, I'm not going to go and tell lies about what FOD is doing. I'm going to go show proof what FOD is doing.
Right. That's the only way to go. Like, I don't know. See, with me, the way I've handled things, with what's been going on with me, is to try and just ignore it, because I find that if you fight back, if you try to go at them, they go lower and lower and lower and lower, and I'm just done with them all.
People have no end to them.
I don't want to talk about them, and I just want to be done with them.
I really feel like
the shade always comes to light. So
I really feel like if full-on drama suffers some consequences for her actions instead of being coddled, then maybe she'll chill out.
Thank you for allowing me up.
Mark 11, thank you
been
so
lovely.
much for coming
So
up.
glad you came up.
Yes,
It's nice to talk to everybody, Brian. It was really nice to talk to you. I don't think we've ever been on a panel before, Brian, and actually with Carla or Misdemeanor, so it was lovely getting to know all you three.
We'll do it more often.
Yes, you're thing here. Yes, you're always welcome up on my panel. Anybody is really.
You don't need me, girl. I'll be showing the
we
dog.
Come
And the dog
on,
be
we
doing
like
stuff
it.
himself.
We enjoy the
He's
interaction.
crazy.
I appreciate you, Ams.
I
I
know.
appreciate Ams. I appreciate what you said. I really do.
Okay, you all take care.
Okay, you
honey.
too. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay, so what did Em say? I understand why you're upset, and I'll never tell you how to feel. I just struggle with jobs being pulled in for behavior off the clock.
Yeah, I struggle with it too, Ams, and it happened to me. So I struggle with that too. But the difference was, people were contacting my employment about things that I wasn't doing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Wild Child. How did I misread it? I'm sorry. Wild Child said I misread their comment.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks people are nice to FOD. Is that part? I don't know how I can misunderstand that.
Yeah, dysfunction junction.
It does suck that they're nice to him. I'm sorry. FOD was humiliated by Solange last night. What are you going to do? Ash 274 and King Yellow were nice on her panel. It is what it is, and it sucks. I don't know. I'm just reading the comments. And
was Ash 274?
Wendy V never shows the chat when she fucking clips a live. She never shows the chat. She never, a lot of people think that's coming out of my mouth when I'm just reading a chat.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Wendy V and her biasness.
I misread a comment by Wild Child. they said, and they can understand why things are misinterpreted. I don't think she is coddled, but the creators are in fear of her.
Right.
She has shown how capable of making others' lives miserable.
Absolutely.
I'll never be okay with that person. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just not going to.
Well, and there's several people that are in that line right now. It's not just FOD.
Mhm.
There are people who right now are kind of basically terrorizing other people on here by saying, you know what, I have 900 screenshots of everything you've ever said.
Yep.
And then holding it over your head. It happened to me. It happened to Carla. It's happened to Brian. It's happened to a lot of people.
Well, here's the thing, that people were okay with it.
Yeah.
Because it can, if it comes from certain people, it's okay. No, it's not okay from anybody. Okay? I don't care who they are. It's not okay for me to do it. It's not okay for other people to do it.
And here's my thought on the whole thing. You know, I just have a personal philosophy now in this day and age that we live in. I don't negotiate with terrorists. If you've copied something I've said, if you're going to switch it around and make me look like a horrible person, or if you're going to show it in its entirety, usually I'm pretty open and honest and upfront about things. And you probably already know how I feel, so don't be shocked. But I'm not going to bow down to somebody who's threatening me with my own words. I'm just not.
Right.
So you go ahead and show whatever you got to show, do whatever you got to do.
Show whatever you want to do. And
I will block you.
Here's another thing. We have a right to our own opinions. If a troll comes in here and we have an opinion about who we think it is, we can say it. I'm not, without mentioning names. I have my own opinion and suspicions, and if you don't like it, too bad. I'm not mentioning any names. I'm saying I have an opinion. I have an opinion, and that's what really upset me about when I was on Wendy and Diane's panel, was they completely allowed their chat to chastise me, to bash me, to say anything they wanted about me.
Let me say something to Wild Cherry really quick, because I understand exactly what you're saying, and Carla does too, honestly, because we've been banging our heads up against the wall. But you know, there are a lot. True Helper, and I don't remember whose live it was on, but True Helper brought up a lot of different. What I think it was True Helper, wasn't it? That brought up a lot of different things from the terms of service of YouTube and things like Patreon and Discord. If you know these people are in those different areas and YouTube, don't stop reporting. Get your facts, your own facts together. Whatever you need to do, screenshot, record, send in timestamps of this is where this person threatened me, or this is where this person threatened to do this to someone else, and start reporting it to these people so they get them off of here.
The thing with full on drama though is you can do all that reporting and get channels shut down, but she'll just come back in another one.
Wendy sat on her panel on Diane and Wendy's and said I doxed Heidi. Because you can reverse Google a picture. You cannot reverse Google a picture when it's got writing on it. And that's how I got it. I did not look her up on Facebook. I don't even know her name. So like I was a little pissed that she said that I was a doxer, and then Heidi put up a friggin' a video calling me a doxer. Now come to find out, she's saying that I didn't even dox her. There was TNT. So, which is it?
That was the best live last night, Save Robbie. I loved it. I really enjoyed that.
What was it about?
He had Glarer up there, and he had his friend. So I can't say his name.
Casey or something like that.
McZ, I think.
Come on up. Come on up.
And they just they talked about, doing paranormal stuff, and was that disrespectful to families that have lost loved ones in crime situations, and it was just really good, open, honest discussion. It was awesome. I really enjoyed that.
I think I was in there for a little bit, and then I fell asleep.
See what you do to her, Save Robbie. I stayed awake for the whole thing. Just saying.
She's got a little laptop next to her bed.
Back
Like
with
she does
bang
before.
this time and still psycho today. I don't know who dysfunction. Come on, hey, here comes Robbie. Hey, Robbie.
Uh-oh.
Good
Rob,
morning.
I'm on my walk back to the house, so if it's windy or loud, just tell me to shut up.
I was going to say he probably had his run this morning already.
And Carrie, I completely agree. We need to unite. And what's happening in this community, as far as people getting together and talking about it, is one of the best ways to handle the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually addicted to stuff like that. I love that. Even watching, people. That's why I'd like to watch kind of dramatic things play out because, and I won't say who, but there's a bigger creator that she actually invited someone up on her panel that was cussing her out in the chat. And by the end of the live, they were laughing together. They had worked it out and it was great.
Yes, I like to see that too. I like to see people unify.
So, but what do you do with people?
People do on here though. They don't try and work things out with each other. They jump on panels and they bash and trash people, or they show private messages, or they, there's no working things out with people that do that. There isn't, because you're not talking to that person. I've tried it. If it doesn't work, I block, and that's it. I don't watch that person, and that's all.
Well, I got to watch quite the shift in the temperature last night when there was a discussion going on about it. There were things being shown. I think it was last night. Might have been. I'm losing track here, but there were more people in the chat saying, "Why is this person showing this stuff?" rather than, "Oh my God, look what so and so said." It was more about the person who was up there sharing private information. And that's the way it should be. Don't question so much what people are saying in their private chats, because y'all all know you do it. You talk smack. Come on, you don't all like each other all the time.
I do it.
And even when you do love each other, sometimes you got to sneak off with a friend and go, "She's driving me crazy." And just have a little discuss and get it out. So that's not the big deal. What the big deal is what kind of monster has those conversations with people, holds them over their heads for 3 months, and then comes out like some kind of saint, showing everybody what evil there is that lurks in the streets of YouTube.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The real evil is the one showing all the conversations.
Yeah,
Trust me.
When the text came out,
playing conversations, I'm done. I'm so freaking done, and I think a lot of subs are just disengaged. Don't be sitting in chat saying this one's shady or that one's shady when you haven't ever taken the time to talk to that person.
Right.
And I can mention a few names, but I won't.
You would think someone is your friend, and they would come and talk to you about if they have an issue, instead of going up on panels and talking shit. You would think someone was your friend. But I was looking at the text that were on that AC Slater that came up where Mandy was making jokes about, I hope a wheelchair goes flat and blah 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 blah. But that person is forgetting. See, 180's mad at me because I did make a shitty comment at him when I was on when I popped up on Ashes and I was angry, and she kept going, "Look at what 180's saying. Look at what 180's saying." And I said, "Fuck 180. I'm not here to talk to him." And then she put up something smart that he said, and I said, "Well, I'm at work. Where are you at?" That was wrong for me to do that to him, because we that was wrong, and I apologize for that. But I didn't make any comments about his wheelchair going flat. I didn't make any comments about his disability. I just was mad because Ash was using him as a tool to get at me.
Well, here's the thing. At the end of the day, if this is your way to develop friendships or leadership in this community, just remember how you built it is what you're going to have to stand on later on. And I don't think that I would want that kind of foundation. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I have a rocky foundation myself, but I try to, and that's why I like to talk to people right away. I always give them my email or some way to contact me. And if that's not how they want to do it, because some people will say, "Why are you talking about that on here? Why don't you take it private?" Well, it's because sometimes when things happen in public and other people see it, sometimes you got to work things out in front of people as well. Exactly. Because everybody becomes a part of it in some way, shape, or form.
But here's the thing. People are not doing it in private. They're not going to the person. They're just, one goes low, the other goes lower. And one jumps on a panel and trashes and and bashes someone, and everybody's clapping. I mean, not everybody. I'm not talking about you guys because I don't, put you all in the same. But you're sitting there for your own general entertainment, watching someone's life fall apart or watching people tear their life apart. What the hell is entertaining about that? Please tell me. You just enjoy seeing someone hurt? I mean, what is it?
I don't understand how anybody can.
And looking in a chat and seeing people just completely eviscerate you.
Yeah.
Because someone says something about you. Mm-hmm. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, or when somebody comes at you, when somebody comes into a chat, or when somebody comes into a chat, and they're picking at you and picking at you and picking at you, and you say one thing. One little thing, like, I'm at work, where are you? And then you're bashed forever. That's not your friend anymore. You can't make it through that little spat. You was never my friend. You were never my friend. And anybody that can sit in a panel where they're making fun of dead baby jokes and still support that, you're not my friend, and you never were.
I agree.
Well, I have reason to believe that some people that we can't see are never.
That's entertaining. Mm-hmm. That's disgusting to me.
Braden Ferguson did not lose his life so people could take revenge and make jokes about it. That's not why he did. That's his little 2-year-old life. Is that what it amounts to now? That people can come on social media and use his death to make jokes and get back at someone else, and people support that shit? Yeah. Exactly.
Well, there's going to have to come a time where we honestly and sincerely ghost it and put it on complete block. Stop talking about it. Stop entertaining it. If it comes into chats, creators need to block it. They need to get rid of it. Well, that's my feeling. That's how I feel.
It kind of sucks when you think someone was your friend and you find out after a year or so that they never were. They never were. It's heartbreaking. I don't care what FOD does. I don't care what Ross Dog does. The thing that hurts me the most is I thought these people were my friends. I thought they were my friends. They're not. They don't care.
That's what's sad about it.
They don't care.
Can you hear me, Carla?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I was just wondering why you sent me that.
No, because someone asked for it in somewhere we're not talking about right now.
I tell you what, though,
I'm sending it to them.
I tell you what, though, I still have love and empathy for those people that I thought were my friends, and I'm so ignorant that if something happens to them, I will still have their back. That's me. That's how I do it.
That's what kind of person you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what sucks about the whole thing is that they didn't have yours.
No. Sometimes
they turned on you, and that's what's sad.
Well, when somebody
sad to me.
When I would tell you, I'll be quite honest with you. When I went over to Starlight's thing and saw that my wrench was gone, I was like, okay, I'm getting the message now. And then I went back over there. And then I went back over there and I was talking to her, and she gave someone else their wrench back. She never gave me mine. So I got the message. She never gave me mine back, which is okay. I'm not going to cry about it. But I got the message. I get it.
Yeah, it's happened to me. And I was like, I really don't put a lot of stock in wrenches. Like, I don't really care because I'm like, Robbie, where'd you go?
Well, you can make a statement. Like I've had a wrench. She gave me the wrench.
I'm the worst wrench ever.
Well, she gave me the wrench so that I could be in her chat and people wouldn't mess with me. Not for anything. But when I popped over and I noticed that I didn't have my wrench, it really didn't bother me. But Amanda started, Brian, she had to take everybody's wrenches and all that, which was cool. But while she was telling me that she had to take everybody's wrenches, I noticed that everybody still had theirs except for me.
Right.
And which is fine because I got the message. That means, you know what that meant to me? Stay away. That's what that means. That's exactly what that means to me. Just stay away. That's what it means.
Because YouTube social distancing.
Yeah, I popped back in there. And I love Marianne. But I popped back in there, and she says, it was Jane the teacher, Joy Lang one. She says, oh, I noticed you don't have a rent. She gave it right back to her. Mindset empty. So I get the message. But I will still have her back. I will still love her. I will still care about her. But I just, I got the message. Okay, I got the message. And I'll be there.
And, yeah. I just, and I'm not going to trash anybody. I have a right to my opinion. I can suspect what I suspect. I'm not going to trash anybody but why is it okay for certain behaviors from certain people, but not okay for other, that's what I'm not understanding here. Why is it okay for a Discord I was in to be displayed to the public, but it's not okay for other people's Discord to be? I thought there was a rule for that. So who goes into a Discord, records it, and then puts it on display, and it's cheered for because they want that bad to see some shit, which really wasn't that much shit in that Discord.
Yeah.
But I'm just sickened by it all. I know who's getting enjoyment out of it, and I know who's the hypocrites, and I'm just keeping them at arm's length.
Oh, my ears.
Will I mention their names? No, I'm not mentioning.
My ears ring about the things that are being said about me, amongst people that are supposed to be my friends in the Discord. I got a text message from someone the other day that kind of clarified, that these people are talking shit about you behind your back. These people that are supposed to be your friend are laughing and joking about you behind your back.
That's every day for me, and I don't really give a shit anymore.
Well, I think if people can sit in the Discord and talk shit about me behind my back without coming to say it to my face, they're the ones that have the problem.
Exactly. And you know who your friends are and who you can trust.
Well,
I mean, that's the thing. You would have that person's back that's talking shit about you, but you're not going to, two wrongs don't make a right. That's to me. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah.
So
and friendship, I think, is used as a term really loosely here. Because I'll ask people, well, how long have you known her? Y'all are so close and you're such great friends. For a month. I'm like, oh, okay. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, dysfunction is absolutely correct.
But, Brian, you know why she does that? Because she has to agree with, okay, I don't want to read the rest of that.
Yeah.
But I hear you.
I don't agree. I don't agree with a lot of things a lot of people do. I'm not going to pretend that I do. And if that makes me bad, or you want to just unsub from me, well, so be it. I have my own opinion. I have a right to my own opinion. Randy and Diane have a big channel, big deal. I still have a right to my own opinion. Randy has a bigger channel than me. I still have a right to my own opinion. 180, I like 180.
I like 180.
His own opinion, I have a right to mine.
I like 180.
I'm not going to coddle people when they come up on my channel and treat me like shit. Sorry.
But Wendy, Diane, and Randy, they'll allow me in their chats. They'll allow me to speak to them. I've spoken to Randy several times, and Wendy, they'll allow me over there.
I'm talking how I was treated on a panel.
It's just like, why would I go?
By their mods, or at least one of their mods.
Why would I go over there for? I don't feel welcome, but they'll still let me over there. You know what I mean?
And y'all thought I was mean. You notice who the nice one up here is? I'm just saying. Take note, Jason.
Why is he saying I'm mean?
I like 180.
I am mean. I'm in a mood today. I'm in a mood, and anybody can come up here if you guys have an opinion and it's different from mine. That's fine. I've gotten to the point where I'm so thick-skinned right now. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really don't. I'm not.
Well, I like a whole lot of people on here who, a lot of them are fighting right now. I'm not quite sure why that's going on. I know that it hurts me to watch my friends fight or argue or not get along. And I really hope they work it out, I honestly do. I know that I've cut my friendships down to just a few. That works for me. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it breaks my heart to lose.
Why don't I contact Diane about this? You brought it up days now. They'll work it out. No, they won't. It's done. The damage was done.
Yeah. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to lose my friendship with 180, and it's sort of with Marianne too. That's the worst thing. Shit, that's happened.
I've said many times there are few trolls that are on your side who are working in the dark on your behalf. So stress not, no matter what people believe or say, there are. Well, that's nice to know. Thank you, Kinko. I actually do know that there are a few working on my side. I'm not saying anything against Diane. I'm saying what happened in their chat was very disheartening. Thank you.
Thank you, Next. Can I say something to thank you, Next, real quick?
Sure.
I had an issue a while back. It's been months ago. And I attempted to contact, sorry, my coffee pot's beeping. I'm noisy. I attempted to contact Diane through email. Okay, never heard anything back. Then several months later, I had an issue with someone that she had an issue with. I contacted her, got a response immediately, and I looked in and noticed that my previous concern had never been addressed. That kind of stung a little bit. It says to me, as a sub, you only care about concerns that concern you too.
Sort of. Yeah.
I'm a grown-up. No, wait. I'm not finished. Okay. So there's that. As far as being a mod in a chat, especially one like that where there's a lot of controversy, I have found that, and I've been in other chats where I've modded where there's some controversy. You have to stay completely neutral.
Yep.
Yeah, you have your own opinion, but not as a mod. I don't agree with that. I agree that mods are there for subs. You handle issues as far as bad elements coming in, picking fights with other subs, causing disruption, things like that. But it's not okay, in my opinion, for a mod in that position holding a wrench to pull aside.
That's right.
I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's okay. And when it comes to a time when they're bashing the guest on the panel, I mean, being vile, that needs to stop. So, yeah, they can have their opinion, not when you're modding.
Yeah, no. And that's what happened. And if you don't believe me, go back to the stream that Misdemeanor and I were on panel with Mandy Bell and read the side chat.
Just look at the side chat.
To us. Just form your own opinion. It was so bad that I had to jump off that panel because I wasn't heard. I was talked over. I was screamed at. I was threatened, and they allowed it.
They didn't say a word.
And they allowed it.
Yep. Well, I was in a.
Oh, the mods don't in her chat.
I was in a chat the other day with 180 was the mod, and I'm just gonna, I don't want to fight with him, but I typed in, "I love you, Lanky Tour," and he deleted that message. But you want to talk about me acting like a child?
Well,
I mean,
I think there should be a standard for everyone.
And we have a right to our opinion in here. Like, this is the thing. I mean, if their creators have a right to their opinion, subs have a right to their opinion. There's probably things that you guys have seen that I've done that you don't agree with, and that's fine. But I am sick of people saying, "Oh, you should just don't address it. You're going to piss this one off. You're going to piss that one off." I'm done. When I have an issue with someone, I bring it to my platform. Okay, it's like a tenth of what her platform is, but that's fine. I mean,
I know, Clancy. I'm sorry. Shut up.
No, it was mostly a mod in that chat that was just bringing so much hate towards me. It wasn't even funny. It was disgusting.
Well, like the mods are supposed to be sure that the chat flows and it
this one
doesn't distract the host. That's all that it's supposed to be.
This one wasn't.
They shouldn't have an opinion.
Go back and watch.
They shouldn't have an opinion. They shouldn't be arguing with subs. They should just be there to direct traffic, basically.
Yeah, and kind of, fulfill what the creator's trying to create in their chat. Because if every creator approaches it that their chat is not their own, it's there for the subs, then that stops a lot of the problems there. So if you got somebody coming in and they're hammering on one of your subs that's in there every day, that has to stop. It just has to. If they get out of control when a panel guest comes on that's not very popular, then be respectful. If you haven't heard the other person's side, there's your opportunity to hear it and ask questions.
Aren't even allowed
I
to
can promise you, though, I can promise you one thing that I've never seen Carla do, and thank God, and that is resolution kind of things. Just because I feel like after that one night on panel, it's turned into a gladiator event where everybody shows up just to see who gets the bloodiest. And I'm not going to participate in that. That's my commitment to myself.
Yeah.
There's no resolution. It's just pit these two against each other and have a fight night. Let's be brutally honest. If you want to have a resolution night, what you should do is open up a private StreamYard, have those two people come together in private, help moderate the conversation in private, where you don't have 1,000 people egging them on. That to me is a true, meaningful resolution. That's
And
just me.
if you do have screenshots in private, show the screenshots and say, explain this in private. Don't sit there and display it and go screen record it and play it for the general amusement of people. That's what made me sick about the whole thing with that Discord, which was Jen's Discord being displayed for people's amusement. And what they were saying in that chat was disgusting and very disheartening about how they were getting such a thrill out of seeing that. It was such a hypocritical stream, like, as far as I'm concerned. And that's just my opinion.
Jason busts out with the truth once again.
Private arguments do not create views.
But Jason, nobody on YouTube is here for the views.
Oh, no, never.
They're all for social equality.
Yeah.
And rainbows and butterflies and unicorns.
Yeah. And we never call names.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad that my skin is so thick right now that you can drag me behind it.
Your skin is bad to be thick, Brian. Look how many people have come at you. I think Laura paid you a compliment last night, to be honest.
Yeah. Laura, I found a way to pick at Laura without pissing her off. I don't want to piss her off, but he also, like, when I put videos up about Laura, she looks at it like this. Well, he's promoting me, he's promoting, and then I'll put something funny behind it. I could call her out without pissing her off, and that's my goal with her. I don't want to have an argument with her.
Dysfunction, I agree. The sub should be able to have a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and this is just what I want to. Like, if you really want to resolve an issue with someone, don't sit there and display their private messages. What is that proving? That just proves to me how shady you are.
Well, I tell you though, I would beg to differ a bit, because if someone is saying something in public that in a private message that they're lying about, and you tell them, hey, you better own up to that. You better own up. You're lying, and they don't, and you have the proof. I think you could probably weigh that up as, if you shared a private message, you can probably use it that way.
Oh, I agree with you.
I've only done that once.
Here's the thing with me, though. I don't take screenshots of private messages. I don't.
Yeah.
And that's what I have a problem with, is I don't have that to. Thank you, Kenko. Kenko says, I have said many times there are a few trolls that are on your side who are working in the dark on your behalf. So stress not, no matter what people believe or say there.
You can take
Kenko.
Yeah, you can take what Kenko says to the bank.
Oh, yeah, I know. He's cool. I love him.
I wonder what happens when everybody gets fed up with all the fighting amongst the creators and like heavy hitter subs is what I kind of call them. They're like everywhere. They get tired of all that arguing and bashing and screenshot showing and tape playing and all this other crap, and they go like join the knitting community. I mean, I know everybody says that they're vicious too, but or find a bird watching community. And there's no more subs in the drama community because they're just done with it. Right?
And I don't have a problem with Wendy, Diane, and Randy, except all I would say to them is pay attention to your chat. And if you have panel guests on, let them all have a voice, not just one person talking over another. And let your chat crucify them.
Well, being the devil's advocate.
More attention.
Well, being the devil's advocate.
Full on drama, you're not getting up here. So go away.
Full on drama don't want up there?
Full on drama's here.
Why not?
Did I let him up?
Why not?
What do you think, Ms. Maynard?
I have nothing to say.
No, they're gone now. I don't have anything to say to her either.
I didn't see anything.
I was gonna actually let her out. I have my finger ready.
Well, full on drama. Next time I do a live, don't sit in my chat attacking me. Just take the link.
She tried to get up here, but she didn't. If she tries to come up again, I will let her up. Yeah.
There you go, full on drama.
I've got a few things to say to her too.
Right, Remy.
She won't, because
people who don't acknowledge the chats, creators and panel guests that don't acknowledge the chats at all, why not just call the person? If you're going to cut chat out of it completely. There's sometimes when it does get difficult up here to address you guys down there. I'm on my phone, and so I can't type in chat, which sucks. I'm going to be working on that at some point. But yeah, it's hard to interrupt guests or Carla or whoever.
Yeah, I'm starting the misdemeanor laptop fund pretty soon.
No, we're not. We're not doing that.
See, she doesn't want me to do it for her.
No,
She can go buy one if she wants to. She knows, right?
Jason,
if I want to, I will.
I love you.
Send her.
I used to pick on people mercilessly like you do, until somebody called me out that it does hurt feelings sometimes. And today is not a great day for me. I'm just saying. It's been a hell of a 2 week. We're going on 2 weeks now. It's just been a lot. I've been having almost daily migraines, and I think it's stress related. Migraines like I haven't had since I was in high school, that have put me down for a minute or two. It's a lot of stress, and it's not nice what's happening in our community and to people that I care about. And I take that really personally. I'm sorry if I talk too much up here. I try to curtail that.
Will you stop?
No.
Everybody loves you.
Well, there's just been a lot of comments today, and I don't know.
But you can't take it. Have you ever seen some of the comments that are made to me?
Well,
I know.
I could tell that Miss Demeanor's feeling a little irritated. It could be about, like she said, she's been having these headaches. She's been talking about having these headaches for the last couple of days, and that would put somebody in a bad mood. I mean, but I can tell in your voice that you're annoyed.
I know she's down. I can tell too.
It's probably because she don't feel good, and she don't feel good because of all the bullshit.
Mac 11's start of Miss D's laptop fund. Oh, no. Thank you so much.
God.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you know what? It's okay. It's okay to be annoyed, and it's okay to be cranky. You have every reason. We all have every reason to be cranky about something right now, with everything going on outside of YouTube and inside of YouTube.
There's been days, Brian, that I've gone off. I've come off alive and cried my heart out. Because of things that have been said about me, names that I've been called. I mean, sometimes you take it, and you tell people, it doesn't bother you. And you get off and you start thinking about it, and it really hurts your feelings. And I know I think I hurt misdemeanor's feelings today.
That's what they want. That's the result. The result.
And I guess
they want to hurt your feelings.
I think too much maybe about what other people think sometimes, and not what my friend thinks. And I apologize to her for making her feel bad.
And it's not that what hurts the most, and I've heard so many people say this in the last 2 weeks, you can beat me up all day long. Don't beat up my friends. That hurts me worse than you doing it to me. And there's people that I really care a great deal for.
Stream Sports, thank you so much. Misdemeanor, sending love.
Y'all
Boy, we're getting
I love
that
you
love
guys.
talk.
Thank you. No, y'all quit because that's going to be the topic of everything. And I'm
Oh,
an
I don't
e-beggar.
care.
And
Like, we're not e-beggars.
I have.
I was joking when I said it.
Oh, I'm going to kill
Brian
you.
is correct. We are all on edge and deserve a bit of slack. Yeah, and we don't want anybody to think that we're going against anybody. It's just that, if everybody else is allowed to have an opinion, and I need subs too, you guys are more than welcome to have an opinion. And I know a lot of you are not going to agree with me and say stuff about me. I've even had someone ask for me to take their wrench because they definitely didn't like me.
Yeah.
And did it hurt? For a minute, it hurt, but whatever. I took a wrench and that's the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably unsubbed me, and yeah, it hurts a little bit because she didn't want my side of the story, and that's fine. Sorry, Carla, my phone was cutting out. I'm at home listening now while cleaning. Okay, Robbie.
Robbie, you need a new phone. Your phone is a piece of shit.
Let's turn this into a Robbie's new phone.
Yeah, let's get
drive.
Robbie the new iPhone.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Let's drop about $1,300 on Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, I don't even have an iPhone. Let's put that.
There's no way I'd buy one of those. They just.
I'm not ever getting another iPhone. I'm done with the iPhone.
I got the Samsung Galaxy A6.
Android. I'm going Android all the way next time. I'm telling you.
My little Galaxy is better functioning than an iPhone, and it only cost me $400.
And that is so right. And she said, Kenko, it's sometimes super hard, especially if they've tried to destroy your character. And I've had that so many times on here, and I've kept my mouth shut and misdemeanor has as well. And it's hard when I see people, my friends, my good friends, my best friend, the character being questioned. I don't care about Extreme Sports, Robbie too. Robbie, you're getting iPhone fun. Oh, you guys are too much. But when and even if I hurt her feelings, I feel more bad about hurting her feelings than anything else, because I love her. She knows it, so she can yell at me today.
What, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm sorry, I'm reading chat.
I was reading chat too.
Stop phone shaming. Poor Robbie.
Well, my boss.
We got him.
If my phone.
We got him his Sally. What do you call it? Sally Hamster. His Sally Hamster. His Sally Hamster emoji. And my ghost. And,
yes.
Mr. Miller's dog. What else did we get? Oh, cherry. Popping cherries.
Popping cherries.
Popping cherries.
Well, I will say this, Remy, though. When you slow that chat mode down, which only limits how often you can type into chat, right? Some people need to slow their roll. Just saying. They need to not type so much. They need to listen more.
To do that. Like, I wouldn't even know how to slow it down. I don't really know how to do all that stuff, but I've never had enough people in here that I've had to, it's blown by so fast. I'll scroll up, but I don't have 1,000 people in my chat, like Ms. Effin Wonderful and Diana, Wendy and Randy and stuff like that. People like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Ems, you're right. When someone's trying to actively destroy your character, it's very hurtful. And you want to fight back. And sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. I know I've had good friends that say, no, you can't go. Because I'll be, I want to go live. And they'll stop me. That's what a good friend does.
Yeah.
It would be cool. They need to come up with a wrench for panel guests. Well, I guess Carla has one. She can mute you. She does it to me all the time, but not often enough, apparently.
I'm all for people responding when they feel wronged, but respond smart and not knee-jerk. Don't do things from experience doesn't help. Learn. Exactly, O'Clancy. And that's the thing. I'm trying to stay away from the whole, I'm not mentioning any names, nor will I. I can have an opinion of who I think is doing what, but I'm never going to mention their name. I'm not going to bash or dash or trash them. or show private messages. I'm just not.
No.
That's how they
And
want.
you know, but here's the thing too, you know, with communication, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, which means you're supposed to listen twice as much as you speak. And when you're involved in a one-on-one with somebody that you're really having a hard time with, I've learned sometimes you just need to hush and just listen. You know, of course, when I do it, everybody thinks I'm mad. I'm just listening. I'm trying to hear what you're saying in earnest, and not so that I can fight back. I mean, when you're really listening to someone, you're not planning your next sentence that you're going to rebut back to them. You're really listening to what they're saying, taking it in, trying to see it from their point of view. That's what empathy is all about. And not be so quick to have a response. And I think that's where communication really falls apart. When you're going in ready for a fight, you know what your points are. You've got your list together, and they do the first one, you do the second one. So nobody's hearing each other. They're just arguing back and forth, and nobody's learning anything. And that's really frustrating.
Extreme says, misdemeanor. I'm a very blunt person. People always take it wrong. I really understand. Well, I'll tell you, she's come up on my panel one time and really tore me a new one. Let me tell you. I felt like dying.
If you ever do that again.
Yeah. Oh my God. She tore me a new one. And she was so pissed at me.
YouTube just sent me another email where I re-uploaded that video, and they took it down again.
Oh my God.
Which video?
The video that I put up about that shooting Daniel Shaver.
Can't you put it on private?
Why?
They're telling me it's inappropriate.
That's the second time they took it down.
They're telling me it's inappropriate content. They're giving me no reason why. They're not striking me. They're just removing the video.
You know what I think it is? It's the actual showing of him being shot.
I got that off another. It's all over YouTube. I got that off another YouTube video.
Wow.
And my appeal on it is, well, we have all these videos of George Floyd floating around there.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna try it again, and I'm gonna take out the actual part where they shoot him, and I'm gonna see what happens. But I don't think that's it, because usually if it's inappropriate content, they give you a timestamp and show you where it's at. On this one, twice they haven't struck me, which they should. If they take your video down, they're supposed to strike you.
Where is Dova, our YouTube lawyer?
They haven't.
I don't know.
We can fight it.
Yeah, they haven't struck me, and nor have they given me a reason.
We need our YouTube lawyer here.
Yeah, well, maybe they're having a meeting with the YouTube detectives this morning.
Yes.
Are they working a new case?
Take this to court, Ryan.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
There's no reason. When I go to click on their reason, it doesn't. The drop down doesn't work. Nothing. It's on both times.
Okay, let me ask you this: if somebody mass flagged it and cited it as something on there, would they take it down but not?
No, they would strike it if it was mass flagged. If it was mass flagged, they'd find a reason that it violates the terms. There's no reason. They're not giving me a reason, and I've had plenty of these, and they always give you a reason. They point you to. It's not. And look, if YouTube has to remove my video, that's a strike.
Right.
This is twice it's happened.
That is a strike.
If they ever have to remove your video, it should be a strike. If they're telling me that I've violated the guidelines.
Because I've had a video removed, so that means I've got a strike against me.
Yeah, but this is twice. They're giving me
that was for copyright infringement.
Yeah. There's no copyright thing on it. Usually, it just with the copyright they give you. If let's say you have a song in it.
For a jib jab video, for God's sakes.
Yeah, they give you a chance, and it's really well done. But if you have a copyright strike because of music, they give you a chance to take the music out.
I don't know how to do that. For God's
a dance
sakes.
video from Jib Jab would not be much good if it didn't have music. Now, would it?
I can't believe they're going to strike me for that. That's crazy.
Which one?
This makes no sense. Why they do
our video?
All the Jib Jab videos that I've ever posted, I've gotten a copyright infringement. I had to put them on private, all of them.
Well, that's just jackassian.
I know it is jackassy.
No, jackassian.
Of course, if
like
you want to see it, I could always give you the link, but I can't post it publicly.
All right, now I'm going to try and put it up, and I'm going to take it because the title of the video was "Please Don't Shoot Me." So what I'm going to do?
I actually saw that, and then when I tried to click on it,
it's really well done. And so I'm going to take out the "please don't shoot me," and I'm just going to put the Daniel.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's.
But it should tell. It should tell me. It should tell me the
Did you
title.
do adult content in it? Did you say adult content?
There's no adult content. Nothing. It was well done video.
Right, but I mean, did you post it?
I put it up. The second time I put it up age restricted, and it's still.
Okay.
I've never.
Misdemeanor, smile,
I've done
awesome, beautiful, and a true light of the world, and have many who love and respect you, sweet.
You're a sweetheart. Thank you.
I've done thousands of videos, and I've
Now
never had this problem.
she's gonna slap me silly when this is over. You guys realize that? Right?
Oh yeah, she's in trouble.
I am in big freaking trouble. I'm scared to go off now.
What'd you do? What'd you do?
I had a big mouth.
Uh-oh.
Yep. But see, she's not going to yell at me here.
No, I do. I love my Carla, and I value her opinion so much, and I value our discussions off of here just about life.
Yeah, we don't even talk about YouTube.
We don't talk about this place.
No, we sure don't.
If we do, we get sick of it pretty quick and move on to something else.
Yeah, because it's like so boring.
But, you know, and I've seen her be, you know, down and exhausted and, you know, just worn out from everything that's gone on recently. And, you know, you watch out for your friends. We take care of each other. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing on here that I do take seriously is when my friend's tired or worn out or hurt, and she's the same way with me, it's constant DMs.
Yeah, because
you okay? You all right? Everything okay?
When I know she's not all right, my stomach hurts. It's seriously because if I didn't care or love her, you know, when you care about someone deeply, like I do her, and I value her friendship, I value her opinion, and I know, you know, her heart. I know her heart.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone through a lot. And you know, it hurts me if I hear her hurt or down.
You want to cam up and make out? Do you?
Should we get a room?
Let's get a room.
We're get a room.
It's the same thing with Brian though too. When I was flipping through YouTube stuff and I saw that, I was like, "Oh God, what has he done?" See, Brian's "Don't shoot me." I'm like, "Shit." I flip on and I'm like, "Oh hell yeah, it's fucking true crime. Go Brian!"
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And it was done well.
I know.
The video was done very well.
That's one thing you did well, and we encouraged you to do it too.
Yeah.
Like so.
Right. You got a lot of people have been telling me go back to just making informative, you know, crime-ish videos like that, and I take the time to do one on YouTube. It took a little while to get that one together.
But why are they? I don't understand why they are.
They're not telling me so we can correct it. So now I'm going to upload it again, and it just says remember Daniel Shaver. And if they do it again, if they do it again, I'll try taking his first and last name out of it. I'm going to keep uploading it because if they're not going to strike me, I'm going to keep uploading.
Well, it's an incredibly important story, incredibly important, and it needs to be told over and over and over again until people get it right. I mean,
the way
you're looking,
the way the police treated this young man.
Mm-hmm.
They knew his name and everything else before they went up there in the room. They checked. He had no priors, nothing. But the way that they treated him was like the Gestapo. The way that they're shouting orders at this young man that he can't do. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands up, cross your legs, crawl towards me. We will shoot you. If you make a mistake, you will not survive from it. So he comes around the corner. He doesn't even know why the cops are there, right? But the bottom line is the guy is an exterminator.
Dysfunction.
The guy is an exterminator. He travels around the states. He goes into Walmart stores, and they have him shoot the birds that fly around in there.
And rodents.
Well, so he got this new pellet gun. He's out at the La Quinta. He's staying in a hotel. And he got this new pellet gun to do this job with, right? And so they're down in the bar, and he invites a couple people in, have a couple shots, and he's showing this pellet gun, right? He's just showing it to them, but the people, you can see up in his window. And they said that he was pointing it out the window. Well, I think he was just in the window and they could see it. But anyways, the hotel, they called it, this guy with a rifle up here in the window, right? So they're just sitting there in the room. 6 police officers pull up, you know, and they call his room.
Here.
Yeah, and right, you're ready to go with AR-15 personal weapons, right?
Yeah, with
so,
FU on imprinted on the side of it.
Yeah, it said you're fucked, right?
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah.
But they call his room and they tell him this is the police. We need your guests to come out first with your hands up. So he don't know what's going on. Plus, he's had a little bit to drink, which is fine because he's in a hotel room. He's not working. He's not driving. He's had a little bit to drink. So he comes around this corner and that cop's just screaming, put your hands up, hit the ground, drop down. And he did what the cop said. And the cop said, if you make one more mistake, he didn't make any mistakes. He's just screaming at this guy, and he's trying to tell him, I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand what you're saying. This is not a conversation. I'm not here to be nice to you, blah, blah, blah. You will obey me. So he tells him to cross his legs and put his hands out in front of him and crawl to him. Imagine trying to do that.
In long basketball shorts that go past your knees so that when you're crawling, you're pulling your own shorts down.
Right. So his shorts were coming off. There were people everywhere in this hallway. There were women in the hallway. So he reached back to pull his shorts off, and that was his mistake.
He's dead.
The cop shot him 5 times. He was fired from the force. One of the reasons being the inscription on his gun. He was fired from the force. They charged him with murder, and they justified his shooting. So they hired him back. Mesa hired him back so he could do 30 more days. You had to do 30 days before you claim that post-traumatic stress disorder thing.
Yep.
So this cop said he had to quit his job because he had PTSD from that shooting, and now he gets $2,500 a month for life. Plus, he's a steel worker now. So not only did they not do the right thing and charge him and convict him, they've rewarded him.
Yes.
And this happens to be a white officer on a white man. This was 4 years ago.
Yep.
Nobody went out and tore anything up. No. There was no new political party. There was no outrage.
No.
None. And if you watch this murder on tape, it's just as heartbreaking and saddening as it is to watch George Floyd.
Yep. It's wrong on every level.
One of them are worse than the other. It's the same thing. But the problem that we have here is not just the police with the killing unarmed black people. Which, if you look at the statistics, more white people are killed that way. But honestly, the problem is police brutality in general to all of us. All of us. There's not one. Actually, if you look at the statistics, they'll tell you that more unarmed white people have been killed by police than blacks.
Well, I was going to ask you if I missed the riot. Did I not get the memo on that one?
Yeah. Well,
where was the riot?
Well, it happened in 2016. Yeah.
I just don't think there was a level of fear that warranted that reaction. I can't.
Well, what the officer could have done was, once he had them on the ground in the first place, he could have sent one of the other 5 officers over, while they got him at gunpoint, to frisk them down, be sure they have no weapons, which is what they should have done. Then they could have made him sit up against the wall and asked. People are saying you have a rifle in your room, and all he would have had to do was say, oh, no, that's for my work. It's a pellet gun. And that would have ended it. This officer just escalated and escalated and escalated. He made it worse. No human being, even if they were doing something wrong in that room, even if they were in there, doing something bad wrong,
Yeah.
Look, there's no way that young man could have crawled to him the way he had him positioned. And he's telling him, you make one mistake and we will shoot you. So he's scared to death. He's crying. He's literally crying. Please don't shoot me.
Please don't shoot me. Crying, sobbing. And none of the cops testified that they heard him say it.
No, but
the other witness did. The girl that was with him said, he was crying.
Yeah, so if you can't hear somebody right in front of you crying, maybe you're not aware enough to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Because everybody else heard it.
It was caught on the tape. You can clearly hear it on the tape.
He was scared to death. Yeah, the father of 2 children, 2 little girls, that work 20, 25 days a month stay away from home
Mm-hmm.
to provide for that family. A good-looking kid, 26 years old.
Yep.
Now,
Wasn't she? Didn't she have 3? Wasn't she pregnant after?
I'd have to go back and research that. I
think-
listened to her talk a little bit about what happened, but I didn't research her personally.
On the tape that you did, there's one part where they're doing just an interview of her, or she's doing a video,
Mhm.
and she said something about being six. I can't remember if it's 6 weeks pregnant.
I don't know
Something
how
like that.
I don't know how I missed it. I don't, because I usually look at something 3 or 4 times before I put it on my video, so I must have missed that. And because if I would have honed in on it, I would have said something about it. But I must have just missed that part.
Mhm.
And while they're suing, I do know that there's a lawsuit, and they're going to win the lawsuit. I'm pretty sure they're going to win the lawsuit.
God, I hope so.
But still, if they can win the lawsuit, that means somebody did something wrong. This cop should be held accountable for that. He shouldn't be out anywhere. He's not.
Do you see what Wild Cherry's saying to you, Brian?
No, I'm looking at the StreamYard. Let me see.
I actually found Brian first because of true crime, but he doesn't do enough of it these days. Brian, I want more true crime from you, please. You're good at it.
I really do get that from a lot of people, and I really want to. But one of the things that I didn't like about doing true crime is when you put out a good video and they have some silly ass reason why you can't upload it.
Well, that's true.
And I haven't done one for a long time. And I went back. This one hit me. You know, I have to have a personal investment in it before I'll do it. So this one hit me, and I said, I'm gonna do a video about that. And it took me about 4 hours over a couple of days to get it right. And then I put it up there, and YouTube's giving me shit about it. And I think it's a racist thing. I think it's a racist issue. I really do. Yeah, Kelly Thomas. Yeah, I did a little bit on him. I think they want it all to focus on right now. I think that our media and our establishment wants to focus more on officers killing black people, which is fine, but don't cut us completely out.
Yeah.
You know? I got to watch what I'm saying here because people will take it racist. But I think, George Floyd's death affected everyone, more so the black community. But what about Daniel? That should affect everyone too. What about him? And the problem, what I'm really trying to show is we have a problem with police brutality in this country for everybody. Let's show it all. Why is this video being censored like it is? There's no violation in it. They're basically saying we don't like that. We're not giving you a reason why. We're not letting it up there. That's basically what they're telling me.
Yep.
Didn't you say there were other videos?
Oh, you can look up Daniel Shaver right now and find just about everything that I've put in YouTube. I mean, I got most of my stuff outside of YouTube, but in order to get that the full shooting, I got that from another YouTube video that's been up for about 4 years. And it's not a copyright thing. It's just they're saying it's inappropriate content, and they're not giving me a reason why. That's what they usually give you a reason why. And sometimes they timestamp. So I don't know, but I'm re-uploading it again. I'm gonna keep doing it. If they're not gonna give me a strike, I'll upload it 10 times today. I'm gonna put them to work. If they strike me, it's no big deal, really. At least if they strike me, they have to tell me why and be specific. Yeah, I changed the title this time. I took please.
Or if I'm quiet, I'm eating. Oh,
Can they?
there's Remy.
So if hey Remy, if they
Hey, Brian, keep uploading. Keep uploading.
Mhm.
Have you tried to put it on Skittlepox and see if they'll take it down there?
Well, I'm hoping to keep uploading until they strike me and give me a reason why. When they strike you, they have to give you a reason why.
So, regarding police brutality, and I'm just going to tell this very short story, which I actually put in the chat. It's my ex-boyfriend's brother. He's a drug dealer. He's actually on a second stint in Fed prison right now
Oh, shit.
for running drugs and guns over state lines. I was at his house because we were all nervous for him. His girlfriend just left him, blah, 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 blah. He was a cocaine addict, whatever. So he's sleeping in the other room, right? Now I'm white. Cops were white. So they first they tried to jiggle the air conditioner unit out of the window.
damn.
Second, they come bursting in. Now, my arm was broken. I broke my arm. I was casted to my shoulder. They came in. There were no drugs on me. Nothing. And they said, put your hands behind your back. Normal protocol.
But
I said, I can't. They literally made me. On my knee.
Ow!
Yeah. They made me, like, I looked like, that movie Rookie of the Year where the kid has the cast up to his arm and then he becomes some famous pitcher or something? Yeah, that was me.
Like, how
So
badass are you going to be in a fight with a casted arm to your shoulder? You know what I mean? I was just like, shit.
And so I put they bent my arm back enough to get my hands in cuffs. I'm on my knees. I've got a gun to my forehead, a gun to the back of my head. Made to do this. And I said, I didn't do anything. I'm just here. Wrong place, wrong time, whatever you want to say. And I'm thinking, this is all because of his little, as Marsha said, what did she say? Twitter?
Twitter twat.
Yeah. Wanted her clothes.
Oh, wow.
So you call the freaking brigade? And I'm just sitting there like, and the officer says, due to my ex-boyfriend's brother being a drug dealer, do you have any drugs in your cast? I said, no. I didn't. She said, do we have to break it open? I said, excuse me?
I'd be like, MFer, do what you got to do. I will see you in court.
Mm-hmm.
Go right ahead.
Ma'am, I don't have any drugs in my cast. I said, I'm only 2 weeks out from my arm just was broken 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was very scared, but I also knew the procedure. I knew how to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, I was scared. And they put me in the back of the cop car. Now, mind you, my hands are still cuffed. It was the most painful thing I've ever experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And besides childbirth, because my kid had a big head, but anyways. So they said, well, we know you know where the drugs are. You know where the drugs are. I'm like, I don't. I was just coming. I just came here to watch over my boyfriend at the time, his brother. Like, we're both here. I didn't do anything. I had an imprint of a gun on my forehead. And now, like I said, these cops are white. I am white. I was so, I just couldn't believe it. And so it was horrendous. It was a horrendous experience. And I just couldn't believe it. Luckily, see, Remy's not stupid. Remy's got family that's in police. And, once they bent my arm back and I knew, I was like, dude, these people are going to beat my ass. Like, they're just going to, like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
So my ex-boyfriend took the rap for his own brother, which, brothers do. And his brother was found asleep. He was found with a gram of cocaine in his pocket. They let me out of the police car. They both went to jail. But I couldn't believe that they would actually bend my arm back like that and put a gun literally pressing against my forehead, which we all know I've got a big ass head and a big ass forehead, and one to the back of my head.
Damn.
And threatened to break my cast to make sure I didn't have drugs in there.
They could never do that, but they threatened you.
Oh, no, yeah, that's what I mean. They threatened to.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought in my head, like, what's wrong? I'm not doing anything. I had a female officer who, for some reason, normally they don't send female officers just randomly. But just because this little twit wanted her clothes, she sent all these cops and everything else like that. Who knows what she said to them? This female officer reached her hands down my pants, her hands in my bra. She basically felt me up. I mean, it was better, a feel up better than any man's ever given me. But I just
you get a number?
I should have.
Wow.
But
Ems, I will say I have been in the regular kind, and it takes forever to get the feelings back in your thumbs.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different story. That wasn't arrest related.
I just could not believe what these police officers did. And I said to them, once I mentioned one name, I said, my uncle's your sergeant. you might want to chill.
Yeah.
And they let go right away.
Mhm.
I said, well, thank you very much for your service. Please be safe. And I still respect you, but what you did to me was wrong.
Yeah, the police are supposed to de-escalate situations. They're not supposed to violate your rights. You are not guilty until
And they tried to take out the air conditioner from the freaking window.
yeah. And if they would have came in that way, they would.
Stomped on their hands.
If they would have came, yeah, they're not allowed to come in that way.
Which I might say is kind of stupid if you're there looking for drugs as a cop, because that's going to make a lot of noise and forewarn people, and they're going to hit the toilet and start flushing shit.
They're not allowed.
Just saying.
I thought somebody was breaking in.
They were.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that, after the fact.
Just like they're not allowed to kick your door in, they're not allowed to let they have a search warrant.
So,
Carrie.
the way the couch was positioned, the front door, it was an apartment, so the door couldn't open. You know what I mean, Brian? Like entirely.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, the couch is right here.
Wasn't Christopher?
And, I don't care. Get the F out, etc. I said, well, sir, I'm just going to let you know there is a pit bull in the house. It's a puppy.
Right.
Please do not harm her. Let me put her away.
Mm-hmm.
No. You're not allowed to do that. And I said, sir, please, officer, I just don't want you to harm the dog.
Yeah, they like to shoot dogs.
Captain Obvious was asking, how did they get a no-knock warrant? Was it because of drugs suspected or drug dealing?
They didn't care because he already had a record.
Hey, Christopher.
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend's brother.
Forgot I was muted.
In the
I was
90s.
stuck with my face.
All that for a gram of coke.
Yep. Well, she wanted her clothes back. He had a gram of coke in his pocket. I was pounding on his bedroom door. I was like, dude, get up. Somebody's trying to break in. And he was like, all right, I'm coming. And I was like, dude.
Child said, I was pulled over and told their body cam was recording everything. Just to check my sticker, I was told to put my phone down and not record.
You are allowed to record in most states.
Oh, you're allowed to record anytime you want.
It was
that's
just
what they were told. They said.
That was the scariest thing I've ever been through, especially, having one arm unavailable. And I thought, this is not okay.
Yeah.
This is wrong. And they threatened, again, like I said, they threatened to break my cast. I was like, listen, I'm
Oh my God.
My wrist was broken in half. That's why they had to cast me up to my shoulder.
Wow.
And I was sorry.
What is that noise?
Don't beat that baby.
Cigarettes. Are you packing your cigarettes?
But I was so scared. I was so nervous. And then to be searched by a female police officer like that, it was violating.
That would be scary.
Yeah.
That would be scary.
It's, we were lined out. All three of us were lined up outside of the, in the hallway, like an apartment building.
Mm.
And they didn't care. And I said, I kept saying, sir, my arm's broken. My arm is broken.
Every time I see a police officer, I slam on the brakes. Like, what am I doing wrong? I don't want them to pull me over.
Hey, they'll stop you for that. They'll think you're up to something.
I know. But it's just like I feel guilty. As soon as I see a police car, I feel guilty, even if I'm not doing anything.
Well, that's why you have to know the hot spots. Right after a bridge on the highway, tucked into a parking lot.
I saw a show on, I think it was ID, where this woman was raped and murdered by a cop, by being pulled over by a cop.
Yeah.
And they tell you now, if a cop pulls you over at night, to drive direct to a police station.
You're talking about the Holtzclaw case, Daniel Holtzclaw, the cop that was
when he was the one that killed her. He was a police officer.
Oh yeah, that's it. Oh, you're talking about. Oh, let me think.
I don't remember her name, but she was found.
The one that Rodney Reed in Texas. Rodney Reed was accused of shooting his girlfriend, but they kind of think that it was her police officer boyfriend that did it. Yeah, that's what.
No, this was a total stranger. He was on a police thing, and he pulled her over, and I don't know, somehow he got her and raped and murdered her.
I'll tell you what.
And they found him by his boot. By his
That's
boot.
horrible.
His boot imprint.
the 3 sheriffs that came to my house recently were the kindest and most professional police officers I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
I mean,
uncle
the way they were
is-
questioning me, the way they were, they knew they were touching on a very sensitive subject, but
Right.
they were very, very professional and caring, and I appreciate the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department for that. I really do.
You know,
I'd
Brian,
say-
I talked to my uncle about that, and I said to him, because he's a captain, he
Mhm.
runs shit. And you and I have spoken about this, and I said to him, you know, what's the proper protocol, et cetera, so on and so forth. He said, well, you're supposed to be very gentle. You're supposed to, you know, be professional. And I said, well, what do you think about the officers that aren't? He goes, I think they're
I'm not either,
scumbags
Clancy.
should be on the force.
Yeah, they absolutely were very professional. Very, very, I mean, they knew within about 10 minutes that it was bullshit, but they were still professional before that.
Brian, how did you feel during that?
When I opened the door and I saw 3 officers standing there, and they said, "Are you Brian St. John?" I said, "Yeah." Well,
Nope.
We need you to step outside.
Right? Nope.
I handed Nicole my watch and my wallet.
You didn't tell him your name is John Crimes?
No.
You never leave your wallet and stuff.
I gave
on
Nicole
you.
my watch and my wallet, and I said, "I think I'm going to jail," because when they ask you to step outside, and I had Smokey on the phone at the time. I was like, "Well, you know, why don't you guys come in, because you know I got my friend on. I want him to verify it." And Smokey was talking to him for a minute doing that. They were like, "No, we need to turn this off, and we need to go outside because we need to ask you and your children some very sensitive questions."
Oh, Jesus.
They were really nice about it. They were very nice about it.
Well, I commend them for that.
I know, but your
really
heart
do.
must have just sank when you
Yeah.
heard
I thought, "Oh shit!"
my heart would sink if I heard that.
Oh well,
I'd
I
probably have
thought
a panic attack and pass out.
I was thinking, man, somebody. I don't know. I thought I was going to jail for something.
I can't imagine the level of hate I would have for someone to do that to them. I can't even
I would've
imagine
thought I was going to
that
jail, too.
level of
Well, you know, the bottom line,
disgusting vileness and hatred
it
someone
all,
has to have for someone
There's
to
no
do
need
that.
for it.
it
And
all
I'm
Exactly,
talking about
Christopher.
what was done to Laura too. That was no better. I'm not just
Nope.
talking about Brian. Anything, like what kind of people do these things?
I don't know,
And
but
I
the
think a lot
basis,
of us know what kind of people do these things. And
People with
that's
initials for names.
really
the basis of
If I can just address this one just
Mhm.
quickly, Christopher W. No, I wasn't caught with dope or anything. Nothing. I was just there to monitor my ex-boyfriend's
No,
brother.
Christopher's not
Make
saying
sure
that
he
you were
didn't,
doing
like,
stupid
die.
shit. He's saying that,
But
you know,
what
the
did
the
they
whole
do?
white privilege thing where, if you don't have any problems with the law, then you're, white privilege. The cops don't bother you. That's not true. They
No,
it's
bother
not.
people regardless of skin color, and
They
sometimes
don't,
even though
is
you've not committed a
quota.
crime. But
yeah, they don't care.
There is a quota that some police departments put in place regarding tickets and arrests and all that
Yes.
other stuff.
They have
true.
to produce. They have
that's
to
very
produce.
true.
They do have to produce. You can't have a cop out there that's not getting arrested, not writing
Yep.
tickets, not solving crimes.
I got a
And-
ticket for going 4 miles over the freaking speed limit. The
Well, let's
prosecutor,
say they're having,
prosecutor
if they're
goes,
having-
I'm not excited about this.
if they're having a bad week on tickets and their quota's low, they're gonna make up some shit. I mean, seriously.
And here's another thing that I've not heard anybody mention this, but think about hiring for the police department. You can't have anybody with any kind of record, okay? They have to have a high school education. Can't have been, in jail or prison or whatever for, stuff, whatever their parameters are. But, you narrow it down, and you have to. You got to narrow it. And then think out of that pool of people.
Yes.
Those people are going to want different jobs that pay better. They're not at high risk and whatever. So you're left with this little tiny pool of people that kind of are adrenaline junkies. A lot of them. I'm not saying all of them are, but they're adrenaline junkies. They say stay at home and watch cops reruns day in and day out. And they
get
like
that
that.
badge, not gun, and they just want to go like, oh my God,
There
let me
are
get
a lot. Now, there are a lot that are not like that. There's, half of them that are not. But the likelihood that you're going to get the good one versus the crazy one I mean, you're playing Russian roulette here. Is there a bullet in the chamber or no? You know what I mean? So it makes us wary. It makes us, act stupid. And then when you have the good ones come into a call that's dangerous, they're on their guard. I mean, they're nervous, and I get it. My heart goes out to those guys. Now the other ones, geez, you know what? Go join the army.
The crazy ones are the ones. There's always a few bad apples in every profession, and
Right.
that's what it is. There are
You can tell this officer that shot Daniel Shaver. You could tell that he was the kind of person that grew up that was bullied, that was picked on, that never could fight for himself. He was kind of like the nerd. So he gets that AR-15 in his hand. And it's like, no, you obey me. You will obey me.
Well, that bullet's a little scary there, Brian.
You will not survive. What kind of person is that?
I don't know. That bullet is a little bit. That's scary.
Mm-hmm. But this guy, that type of guy without a gun is probably, where.
Carrie, I'll tell you, a real eye opener for me
I just
as
want
a.
to tell that story. I'm gonna hop down. You guys have a great day. I'll see you in chat.
Okay, but thanks.
Bye, Brian. I'll talk to you later.
Carrie says women are often vulnerable to police, especially domestic violence. It's getting better, but women weren't and still struggle to be believed. There's a nonverbal verbal communication that police need. Let me just tell you, my ex-husband beat me with a baseball bat, dragged me outside by the hair of my head, threw me in the front yard, threw all of my clothes out there. Dinner wasn't ready. He was a cop. When I called 911, they came over, patted him on the back, had a little chit-chat with him, and left. Never once asked me a question. Nothing. And they were guys I knew, guys we hung out with. It got to a point where it was so bad, he would come over, kick down the front door, chase me around the house, beat the shit out of me. I had to move to another state with my children. So I feel you. And it's even worse for some cops' wives that are in that position. And they're not believed, they're not heard. His lawyer heard me loud and clear, but yeah. But I had to move to another state and get into another jurisdiction where Texas, they don't play. And so that I think he got the message after that, and that all stopped. But it's a shame I couldn't remain in my home that I paid for, and with my kids, with their school that they loved going to, and had to move and relocate because I could not get the attention of the authorities to make him stop doing what he was doing. Because he worked for them. They didn't even like him. That's what's really weird. I don't know. So yeah, I get the good cop, bad cop thing. I get it.
Yeah.
Y'all talk. Don't leave me hanging out here.
I just turned I turned my air conditioner up way high. This thing blows pictures off the wall. But I'm listening to you. It's sometimes if I get quiet, it's because I'm listening. Like when Marsha was up there.
Hang on, I have to show you something very cute. Do you see this? Is it too dark? I don't know if you can see her. That's my baby. She's rotten. She's very bad. Very bad kid.
No.
Oh, well, you know what though? Here's a good thing about it is sometimes you go through real crap in life so you can appreciate it when it gets really good. My husband now, not only is he a marksman, he's got his MIB badge with the Army. He was a former Ranger, and he's a Billy badass, but he's also so good to me. So if that thing ever comes over here and tries shit with me again, he'll just shoot him. It's Texas. What can I say? Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
You Googled it and are you in trouble? What happened, wild child?
No.
Who's hot? My dog? My bitch?
Your bitch.
My biatch.
I think I'm going to jump down from here and wake everybody up.
Where the hell is Carla?
Jason, where is she? Last time Carla disappeared, Jason typed in, Carla is pooping.
She probably is.
Yeah, I want to jump down. So we'll wait for her.
I'm here listening. I wasn't interrupted.
Thank you, wild child.
No.
But, I think we're gonna end this now. It's almost 4 hours, and you guys are probably sick of seeing. Wait. This face.
I love that face.
This
That's one of my
82-year-old
most
face.
favorite
Hey,
faces.
how old am I this week? 92, 82,
No, I think
102?
you're 32 today.
Oh, I'm 32. Yes, yes, yes. 50
It
is the
doesn't
new 40.
matter. It doesn't
But
matter.
anyways, I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Love
Thank
y'all
you
too.
for coming in today.
Bye.
Thank you. Love you. Mean it. Thanks, Brian. We'll
Be
talk
good to
you
each
later.
other.
Yep. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, Brian. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.